is Zurich Airport calling for Racing Unleashed Season 2023 Beyond the Pinnacle. Today we go racing at the legendary high-speed racetrack in the Parco di Monza. Ladies and gentlemen, start your simulators. Get ready for racing.
This is Racing Unleashed Beyond the Pinnacle.
And it is green and go. It's a good start from Rock already. They make contact. Absolutely flying. He's a man on a mission at the moment. Right into the gravel. To what's happened up front? Oh, it's chaos. Can't overtake, he said. Little Augustin Torlacci, a very happy man on the simulator as well.
This is Racing Unleashed.
Hello and welcome to Racing Unleashed, where we go beyond the pinnacle here in 2023. I'm your host, Mathew Duffin. For Challenge 6 of the season, apologies for the short delay, but the wait was well worth it because what a show we have in store for you today. Here in our virtual studio, the home of Zurich Airport, celebrating its 75th anniversary this weekend, we will be live from the Temple of Speed at Monza. I'm joined with Fabio Vettiger, who we'll get into a little moment's time. But we have a movie trailer coming up for you that if you're across many cinemas in Europe, you'll notice a small little trailer before the Gran Turismo film that hits cinemas this month. There is the film that we're talking about, the Gran Turismo film that hits cinemas the end of August. And if, like we say, you're across cinemas in Europe, you'd have been very special to see a little trailer at the beginning. Gran Turismo was yesterday. This weekend's all about Racing Unleashed. Have you seen the film yet?
Actually, I haven't. Yeah. I was on holiday for 2 weeks, so didn't have the chance yet.
Yeah,
have you?
No.
Okay.
I've heard it's good, though.
Yeah, I guess for us it's very good, yeah. Right? But there's been some other movies that are very successful at the moment, so maybe, it's been a bit of a bad timing, I would say. But still, the movie is great. If you haven't seen it, go and watch it. And if you happen to be in Zurich or anywhere else in Europe, maybe you see a little trailer of Racing Unleashed.
And if you see the little trailer of Racing Unleashed, make sure you come down to one of our racing lounges where you could compete and be like the guys you've seen on the trailer there. You know, highs, lows, people in the background debriefing and everything. It just shows what happens behind the scenes at Racing Unleashed. And if you do see that trailer, make sure you pop down to one of our lounges, Madrid, Munich, Kemptol, or Calm, Zurich Airport as well. To be precise, one of the 5 lounges we have in store for you. Right, Fabio's with us early in the programme today. We're going to discuss something that happened last time out at the Zurich Airport circuit, round 5 of the Challenger League, as the gear-up session's underway, to do with this man, Yannick Pletcher, who was leading the championship from the last race, was going into the race championship leader. He'd had a good knockout, got himself inside the top 10, but had a jump start. Now, we all saw the jump start. We discussed the jump start after the race. The penalty that was given after the race, at the end when we was off air, was a 30. It dropped him from 4th to 10th, I do believe.
Yep.
And he was given he received the penalty points to be given a knockout qualifying ban for this week here at Monza. Talk us through the decision of that. Obviously, being the sporting director, this is the jump start. Talk us through the decision of the penalty.
Yeah, so naturally, obviously, I think nobody of us has ever seen a jump start like this. Nobody does this on purpose. And we could clearly see that he was going reverse first, and then possibly he panicked and he just went.
Yeah.
Right? So there is also a rule in the rule book that says if you have a jump start, you'll get obviously a drive-through penalty. If it's a very big one, it's up to race control to decide whether to disqualify you or give you a harder penalization. So race control in this case also had a chat with Yannick, and after that discussion they decided, okay, he didn't do it on purpose because he was recalibrating his steering wheel, and in that split second reverse was actually applied, so he went a bit backward because he was on the throttle, which is, I have to say, his mistakes, unfortunately. But the bigger penalty then applied because it was first lap incident, and it was a big issue of Yannick. So that's why he got 15 seconds, double penalty points, 30 seconds, which is then in hindsight 30 penalty points, which is why it led to a knockout ban.
Well, we are joined by Yannick now. Yannick, a very good evening to yourself. It's been a month since the jump. It's been a month since the jump start. Are we ready to go? Are we fully focused on Monza today? Have we put the jump start behind us?
Yes, definitely. I'm full on this weekend, on this race now. So yeah, I will be perfectly ready for the race.
Obviously, you have the. You've got to come out the simulator for a moment. You got to have a stretch of the legs. You've got that knockout qualifying ban. Doesn't really help in your championship contention, does it, in terms of keeping up with Nico Farland?
Yes, definitely. It's a big minus in this weekend, and it definitely takes the chance to win. I always want to win, but yeah, a knockout ban is, it's harder than to win. Definitely.
Hi Yannick, this is Fabio. What is your game plan going into the race? Because obviously you have to watch the other guys now race in the knockout. Are you gonna, stand behind of your rivals and see what their lines are, how they behave in battle, or what are you gonna do in that time?
I will go away from the race and will prepare myself for the race. So I have a little bit more time than the others. So yes, I will not be watching the race. I will be focusing on the race itself after the knockout.
Well, Yannick, we'll leave you back to it. Best of luck for the race coming up a little later on. Hopefully, there'll be no more jump starts from any other drivers this afternoon. The penalty, though, Fabio, we've discussed a moment ago. He had the drive-through penalty, got the 30-second time penalty, or I believe it was 30 seconds,
30,
which demoted him to 10th place with a knockout banks the penalty points. Do we feel that is a fair penalty, or could there have been other things?
Yeah, obviously. I mean, he received the drive-through, and he actually went through the pits. Yeah. So he lost about 20 seconds or something, and he gained 2 places actually, but that's because 2 other guys crashed. No. So obviously it could have been a scenario where race control could have disqualified him, but they didn't deem so. So they felt, okay, a 30 seconds time penalty and a respective knockout ban is harder than actually a disqualification, because he would have only lost 1 point, right, with a disqualification, and would have started the knockout anyway. With that, it's a bit of a harder decision on him, unfortunately, but still it was, I mean, he went like 9 seconds before lights out.
Before the light, we saw there, he went before the lights.
Exactly, so it was a massive jump start, so this is why I think the decision by race control was the correct one.
Well, Fabio, thank you very much. We'll speak with Fabio later on in the Rush Hour programme. As you can see behind us, we've got our new safety car, it looks like, for this week, the new Ferrari out there in its Racing Unleashed livery, the one that we saw in the trailer. I believe that it's a real car, isn't it? Well, we've got actually one at Ascari.
It's a real race car, exactly, and it's a race car that our drivers, if they win championships, etc., is the one that hopefully they will drive one day on another.
Touch wood. Well, the knockout qualifying session is underway. We will speak with Fabio a little later on in the programme. Knockout qualifying underway for you then around this Monza circuit. The Temple of Speed here. It is a FIA Grade 1 circuit. It opened in 1922. Celebrated 100 years last year, did Monza. It's a 5.7 kilometre in length. And the knockout format will be 13 laps. We've got one warm-up lap, which is what the drivers are on at the moment. So if you're new to Racing Unleashed, this is a solitary warm-up lap. No overtaking, no racing. The drivers will go away in grid order. I'll get to the grid order in just a second. After the warm-up lap, we have 2 guarded laps. What that means is full race. We are fully away to the race. Let's take a look at James, though, to talk us about Monza.
Well, back today, the drivers are racing at Monza, Italy. This is one of the fastest circuits on the whole calendar. Fun fact, 80% of this circuit is conducted under full throttle. It's a high-speed mixture of ultimate force and twisty turns. They've got the braking right, they keep the momentum flowing through corners, and it's a long lap. So, guys, by the end of it, it's going to be endurance, it's going to be speed, it's going to be head. Stay tuned, it's going to be a hell of a race.
It's going to be a hell of a race indeed. So as we were saying, 2 guarded laps, full racing laps. You can overtake, you gain positions. At the end of lap 4, we'll start the 10-lap or potentially 9-lap knockout period due to the fact that Gianluca Palmisano and Yannick Pletcher both have knockout qualifying bans. The order that the drivers are coming through now then as they leave the Ascari chicane is our new driver today in our Calm Lounge. Simon Shelbert will lead them away from Dennis Eichenberger. Andreas Prax will then be P3. Unai Morotto, our 13-year-old, will be P4. Michael Farland, great to see him back in P5. Michael Waversick in P7. Andreas Koch in P8. Tyler Klausch will go away from P8, Koch in 7th. Walter Trauninger will be P9. Antonio Rivoli will then be in P10. Mario Stanek 11th, Lorenzo Heider 12th, Joshua Heider 13th, Adrian Gomez 14th, Borges Orzo 15th, Augustin Torlacci 16th, Marcus Valverde and Nico Farland will bring up the rear as we are green and go here then for the qualifying. And it is a knockout session, a sprint race if you will, no push to pass available for the drivers in this one as they head down towards the first chicane. In it they come, it's all very congested and bumping wheels already is Koch with a couple of drivers as they come through. He's got a poor exit out the first chicane then. And he's not got a great run. He's losing places hand over fist. And that has not been the start to his race, his qualifying that he would have wanted. Hayder brothers have both got past Mario Stanek. So they've made up a couple of places here. 3 wide into the second chicane. Contact made and inevitably all 3 go off. 3 into 1 does not work. And then they've caught up even more incidents here. And I tell you, first lap incident, double the penalties, and this is going to be one that race control are having to keep an eye on going into the race when it's a standing start as well. But for Mario Stanek and Andreas Koch there then, what a disaster that was. And nobody wanted to yield any place on 2 guarded laps. Nobody wanted to give an inch of room. Torlacci's 14th place at the moment. He's got Nico Farland right behind him. He's trying, though, to stay on the back of Adrian Gomez as they come down the back straight now as they left the Ascari chicane. All line of stern, and they're getting the slipstream, and Augustin Torlacci now looks to pull out on Gomez in front of him. Cannot get it done into the Parabolica. Here is Augustin Torlacci. A little snap there mid-corner as he now applies the throttle flat to the floor. Down the start straight. We're going to see plenty of opportunities to push to pass. Speaking of opportunities, Nico Farland's got himself up the inside as they come towards turn 1. He's going to be blocked by Gomez, who defends his inside line for Torlacci. And Farland has to sit and wait and just look at how congested it is. There's a couple more cars off. There's a couple more places for Torlacci and Farland there then. That was Rivoli and Prax involved in that one at the moment. Shelbert doing a great job out front, 2.7 ahead of Dennis Eichenberger. Out front at the moment as Torlacci now attacking the back of Gomez. Once again, this is the second guarded lap, so everybody is still safe at this moment in time. Morotto doing well, the 13-year-old up in P3 at the moment. We're on with Marcus Valverde. He's got the yellow headband on this time around. And he's in the red simulator behind Borges Orzo, who we've not seen the best of since the prologue. He's not been on the podium, I do believe, this season, apart from the prologue. So he's got a chance today to prove that he can stay in this. Here is our 13-year-old driver, the youngest driver at Racing Unleashed, Unai Morotto. And it's currently P3 at the moment, or is he P2? Is that him going up the inside of Eichenberger? It is. Great move into the Parabolica there. 13 years old, but as cool as you like in the cockpit. And the train of cars start to flood down the straight. Michael Forland's now going to have a look at Eichenberger here, and he's being swamped. They're 3 abreast in the background. Lorenzo Hayder is up to P6. Is he having a look in this as well? I don't think he did. It was Tyler Klausch that got through. He moves into P3, so Michael Forland and Eichenberger lose out there. Lorenzo Haydo's got past Michael Waversick. Gomez and Torlacci still battling it out, but here is Klausch. Now looks to the inside line as they come to the second chicane on Unai Moratto. Up the inside, Moratto's going to hang the car there. That's great defensive driving from Unai Moratto. That manages to hang on into the P2 at the moment, into the Lesmos. And through Lesmo 1, Unai Moratto manages to keep this, and what we're seeing here is the slipstream take full effect. Oh, bit of a wiggle at the second Lesmo there for Moratto. That's going to compromise the run down to the Ascari chicane. As under the bridge they come, Klausch is not close enough at the moment to take full advantage of this. And he's now got to set it up for the Parabolica, if not for the start straight. Nico Forland down in 12th. Sebastian Hirsch watching on from the background. A bit of a wiggle from Torlacci in front. Great exit from Forland there, who pulls to the inside. There's a car off in the wall. There's another car slow, and Forland has to bail out of that one. But in front, though, it's Gomez and Waversick. And Gomez picks up the place. Torlacci's going to sneak up the inside of Waversick. Forland's going to sneak up the inside of Waversick. And while Nico Forland moves into the top 10, Michael Forland drops down to P18. And look at the cars, the slipstream. They're all bouncing off each other. Waversick and Torlacci make contact there, and Forland manages to stay P8 after all that, and has now got past Torlacci. But we do lose Michael Forland in this one. He will be down in provisional 18th place, and I believe we're going to lose Prax as well in 17th. There then, looking back from Nico Forland, we're on to lap 5. Valverde has a sneaky look up the inside of Lorenzo Hayes. He's got Borges Orzo coming with him, the 2 drivers from Madrid. Well, they'll be wanting a fantastic chance to get as high a position as they can. Simon Shelbert, by the way, debut this weekend. It's his first outing here at Racing Unleashed. He's 3.8 seconds clear. And Michael Forland looks very, very unhappy with that. And a very disgruntled driver in Munich. There is Prax in calm. He's got a bit of a smile on his face, but Valverde, he's up into P4 at the moment. He's got Borges Orzo. They're all getting past Eichenberger here then. Lorenzo Hayder now has moved into P3. Look at them, 3 abreast up the inside. Who's that? Well, it's in front of Valverde. They bounce off each other. Valverde tucks underneath. He will not need a second invitation. Valverde's into P4. Eichenberger and Gomez making contact. And now Eichenberger comes back at Valverde, and so does Gomez. They're 5 nearly all together into the first chicane. Valverde early on the brakes, backs out of that one as Eichenberger gets tapped by Valverde. There goes, I believe that was Borges Orzo avoiding the contact over the curb. Loses out to Nico Forland, who now moves into P5, and Eichenberger there looks a little disgruntled, but as we've said already, 3 into 1, it does not work. Valverde now having to fight back as Forland gives Borges Orzo the space, and they both run out of room, and Valverde, who has a snap, tries to get through into Lesmo 1. Valverde and Orzo side by side. Again, another wiggle from Valverde there into the second Lesmo. Valverde, job done. And these cars are snapping every time they go through a corner. Orzo, great run out the second Lesmo. Pulls to the outside at the Ascari as they head towards the Ascari chicane. This is a 13-lap knockout qualifying, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. We have a 22-lap race coming up shortly, and if it's anything as good as this, you will not want to miss any of it. It's edge-of-your-seat stuff. Orzo and Valverde right on the edge of this. We have, just watching all the action, we've missed the fact that Joshua Hayder has been eliminated in 16th place, and Stanek is out in 15th as well. And we're going to lose the bottom 2 drivers now, which looks to be Koch and Eichenberger. It's Orzo ahead of Valverde, ahead of Nico Forland, who fancies the outside at turn 1. But again, 3 into 1 will just not go. And they don't go this time. Forland has to take to the chicane. He gives the place back to Valverde. Orzo, though, I believe got pushed into the gravel. We've lost Eichenberger. He will be P14. And Koch will be P13. Well, now it's Valverde at the beginning of this train, and other drivers are coming in. I tell you what, Yannick Pletcher may not have to worry here because he's absolutely going to be loving this. He's got to come from the back of the pack in the race and could avoid all the chaos. Forlan to the outside of Lesmo 1 now. Tucks back underneath. Zazo! Chaos in the background. Not sure who that is. I think it's Torlacci and Rivoli it is. And they're both around at the second Lesmo in the gravel trap. That'll be the end of their session then. And here is Torlacci, who is now way behind his other drivers, but there's still time for mistakes. Forlan's A4, huge snap. Borgesazzo well held in the middle of Ascari. It's compromised his running. Here comes Nico Forlan now. Pulls to the outside of the Parabolica. It's not the worst line of the Parabolica to be on the outside. You can get the job done, as Forlan's going to prove now. Here's Walter Trauninger looking at this battle on in front. Forlan just got in front of Zorzo there, and I believe now is ahead. There's no still side by side. As they come down the start line, Torlacci will finish P12. Rivoli is going to finish P11. And we get to do it one more time. Borgesazzo did get back in front of... No, he didn't get back in front, so he's lost out to Nico Forland. Has he? No, because what has happened to Forland? I look away to jot down on my notes, and Forland all of a sudden has dropped down to P10, so I'm not sure what's happened to Forland now, but Zorzo's gaining on the back of Klaus. He's got Walter Trauninger there. There's Antonio Rivoli in Munich. But all of a sudden, our championship leader is P10. Wavesik is now on the back of Walter Trauninger, and this is the fight to stay in to go another lap. Michael Wavesik in P9. Can he get the job done on Trauninger? And the less cars we lose, the more we can breathe, the more we can have a moment to think about what's happening. As Wavesik now into Ascari, left, right, left, hop over the final curb, get a good run. Here is Simon Shelbert. We haven't seen him. Unai Morotto has brought that gap down, but Shelbert has done a fantastic job in this knockout session. Just to say as well, going into the race, we've had 5 different race winners in 5 races. Could we get a 6th today in Shelbert? Valverde pumps in the fastest lap. Well, championship leader out of knockout qualifying in provisional P10. Michael Wavesik is also out in P9. We now turn our attention to Walter Trauninger and Borgesazzo. There is Michael Wavesik. As Borgesazzo now gaining on the back of Tyler Klaus, but he's got to find that 6/10. Catching is one thing, passing is another, as Murray Walker once said. And Borgesazzo now has really got to find a way to get in front of Tyler Klaus. He's got 2 places left. Entry to Ascari, entry to Parabolica. Borgesazzo is just losing out a bit of time here. He's just not quite close enough. They come through the Lesmos, gets a bit of a better run. He's now within half a second of Tyler Klaus. He needs that gap to close. He needs a good Ascari to get ahead and to go on to another lap. Gain that extra place on the grid provisionally. Left, right, swing it back to the left. Over the curb. How good's your run? He lost a little time on the exit and he's still losing a little time on the exit. And I reckon Tyler Klaus will live to fight another lap. But Walter Trauninger just not close enough at the end here. He's going to be P8. I'm sure he'll be pretty pleased with that. That's one up from where he started in the knockout qualifying session. Valverde into the 119s with a 119.9. Pumps in the fastest lap of the session. Borgesazzo P7 for him. And now there is a bit of space between cars. We've lost a lot. Borgesazzo, look how he looks hot and sweaty in that car, doesn't he? Looks like he's tired already. You've got 22 lap race coming up yet, Borges. Make sure you get some fluids on board and have a bit of a recovery. But Lorenzo Hayder here. Not really seen much of the Hayder brothers in this one. One's down the order. Lorenzo up the order and up in P3. And Morotto gaining on Shelbert out front. He's taking Hayder with him. And for Hayder, he's got at least another 2 laps in the tank here to maybe find some pace over Unai Morotto. There you see Shelbert, there you see Unai Morotto, and there you see Lorenzo Hayder. And if you're wondering how you distinguish who is in what racing lounge, you see Shelbert out front. He's got the red wing mirrors and helmet. That is for Calm. The yellow helmet and wing mirrors is for Madrid. And the green is for Camp Tall. Pink for Munich. And there is one Munich driver left in. That is Tyler Klaus. He, though, is at the back, some 4 seconds off the back of Valverde. So as Shelbert, Morotto and Hayder start one more lap, we are going to lose Tyler Klaus and Marcus Valverde in this knockout session. 6th and 5th provisionally for them two in this one. So it isn't the worst session in the world for these boys. They have a chance here to keep going. Now, Morotto's within 9/10. Hayder is within 9/10. The problem for Hayder, he's halfway through his lap. He's through the Lesmos. He's into Ascari now. He has to get a move done on Morotto. No, he's not. Sorry, apologies. He's before the Lesmos. He's got to get a move done on Morotto now, this lap, because otherwise he's out of qualifying. Gomez, so far behind at the moment, but isn't out of this yet. Any incidents or any mistakes could see Morotto come back into this session. And Lorenzo Hayder then is now within 4/10. Morotto didn't get the cleanest of Lesmos as they come down towards Ascari. Lorenzo Hayder just pulls out, has a look, makes Morotto have to think about defending. There's a little wiggle from Morotto through Ascari. Hayder's eyes light up. He's right on the back of him. He's in the slipstream of Morotto. Morotto goes to the inside. Hayder forces him to move across, squeezes through the bit of gap that was there. And Hayder, brilliant move, up into P2. Morotto's wide, so he's going to cancel out anything there. But for Unai Morotto, it'll be a P3. It's still a good qualifying for him in this knockout session. It's Adrian Gomez who will cross the line in P4. But Lorenzo Hayder here, a great move on the last lap. 1.5 seconds into turn one you go. You've now got to make sure you can gain that time over Shelbert, who's had good pace in this knockout session. He's led from the start and hasn't looked back in this one. As Shelbert here comes towards chicane number 2. Oh, so very nearly outbrakes himself there. Hayder's eyes are going to be glued to the back of that simulator in calm. Through Lesmo 1 into the second Lesmo. Shelbert in our calm racing lounge. How calm is he in the cockpit? Get Ascari absolutely bang on, because Hayder is now within 0.6 of a second. Little wiggle through the first part. Hayder flying. Look at the speed he carries through. He's gained a tenth and a bit. He's pretty much gained 2/10. He's now going to be feeling the effects of the slipstream. He's all over the back of Shelbert into the Parabolica. Focus on the braking, Shelbert. Gets it stopped, gets it turned in. Here comes Hayder out the Parabolica now with the slipstream to the line. They come. I think it's too little too late. Shelbert will cross the line. P1. Does he? Oh, I don't know. I think he... No, he hasn't. Hayder's got it by 33 thousandths of a second there. And that is absolutely fantastic for Lorenzo Hayder. No wonder he has a smile on his face. But for Shelbert, he got everything absolutely right. 33 thousandths of a second. Oh, he says P2. Has our timing screens got this one wrong? I don't think he knows yet. They're screaming in the Camptar Lounge, you can hear. I think he now realises he may have got P1. Our timing screens gave it him by 33 thousandths of a second. And Lorenzo Hayder, I think, is now being told he is provisionally P1. What a qualifying that was. 2 laps from the end. He gained 2 places. I think he's took pole position there. And Lorenzo Hayder, 33 thousandths of a second. Absolute fantastic stuff there. And there's his brother Joshua. Having such a debrief now, Michael Waversick. Well, if you enjoyed that 13-lap knockout session, hang on to your hats, folks, because we've got a 22-lap race around this 5.7 kilometre circuit. This is going to be one heck of a ride, and it's a standing start this time, so they're all together. And if you know Monza, you know what turn one can sometimes bring. What a knockout qualifying that is. There's celebrations though in calm. Does Shelbert think he's got pole? Now, this is interesting. We are going to have to wait for classification in our ears, because our timing screen told us Lorenzo Hayder took it by 33 thousandths of a second. But with them faces, them pictures there in calm, I think Simon Shelbert believes he's got pole. Or is he just ecstatic with the fact that on his debut he's taken a P2? He's climbing out the cockpit, so I believe he's possibly just been told, although Lorenzo Hayder is also at his cockpit. So I'm not sure what's happening here. What a job that was. Well, Now we get to chuck Gianluca Palmisano and we get to put Yannick Pletcher in the mix. We get an extra 2 cars on the grid for the race. I don't think anybody is quite aware who's got pole position at the minute. Noah's back. It's great to see Noah back in our racing lounge. And I'm sure he's going to be making sure to tell Lorenzo who has got pole position. We are told our end, off the timing screens we had, that Lorenzo Hayder was pole position, 33 thousandths of a second. Let's wait and see, though. We've just been told in our ear that no. So our timing screens was wrong. Shelbert. Right, so Shelbert has now, we've been told Shelbert has got pole position. So not sure what the timing screens were saying at the end. Shelbert is pole position. So we've just been told, and we've just received word that Shelbert is P1 from the knockout session. So ignore what the timing screen said. Shelbert, P1. So which means for him, a fantastic debut outing, led the knockout session from start to finish, and it'll be Simon Shelbert in calm to take that P1 session. But my, that was close. That was extremely close at the end, and this is just proving how good these cars are. The slipstream in great effect here today, and we get to add 8 laps of 8 usages of push to pass into this equation in the next one. So not only was there racing speed, top speed for the slipstream, there was also the push to pass use as well. There's David Ladamada and his 2 dogs. Great atmosphere again in the Kemptor Lounge. The sofas have all been pulled out. Nice little bar it looks on display. Away from the audience maybe. And a thumbs up. Great to see such an atmosphere in our Kemptor Racing Lounge. And as there is, like we say, it looks like there's a little bar nice pitched up for you to grab a refreshment. And drivers, family, friends, all there to get the final outcome and the final feel of what it's like to be in our racing lounges. There is the lounge in Calm. Now, we don't see the Calm Racing Lounge very much, so this is great to see our Calm Lounge. Very dimmed lights at the moment in Calm, and we will hopefully get to speak with our pole sitter very, very shortly. But I'm sure they are absolutely delighted because we never really speak with Calm. We never get to see much of Calm, only having limited drivers. They've only got 2 drivers on the grid today. I believe there's none in the Racer League, so we won't get to see any tomorrow, but that will be a pole position for them. If Simon Shelbert could take the race win, that would be 6 winners in 6 races to go along with Yannick Pletcher, Rock Mertzel, Augustin Torlacci, Marcus Valverde, and our winner last time out, Nico Farland. Can he add his name to that illustrious list? Could Lorenzo Hayder? All the results are provisional at the moment. We'll bring you final classification when Race Control have got final classification, have gone through everything. Look to be a few incidents in that knockout session. That was only 13 laps. I've got a sweat on just standing here commentating on this one. I think someone's going to have to pull a chair out shortly because the race is going to be fantastic. Simon, though, is in his cockpit and we'll get a word with him very, very shortly. What a session for him it was. What a dream way to start here at Racing Unleashed. And let's not forget, Rock Mertzel had the dream start when he was with us on his debut at the Red Bull Ring. We can, though, now, I believe, hear Simon. Simon, good evening and congratulations.
Thank you. Good evening.
How was that for you?
Unbelievable. I could not describe this. It's perfect.
It was very close at the very end.
Yes. Yeah, I made a few mistakes through the end, and then they closed up really quick. But it was enough for the end. So,
can you do the same in the race?
I don't know, because Hayder is very quick, and yeah, I don't think, but points would be great.
Points will be great. Well, hopefully we get to speak to you later. Congratulations on the P1.
Thank you very much.
And that then, Simon Shelbert there from Calm, very happy with his pole position. And he will be looking forward to getting in the cockpit again for the race a little later on. Well, we can wipe the sweat from my forehead. We can have a moment. We go again in a few minutes' time, or in a few moments' time. What an absolute knockout qualifying session. That was one of the best I've been a part of here at Racing Unleashed. Absolutely fantastic. And this is just the Challenger League. You want to see more knockout qualifying fun like that? The Racer League's right around the corner tomorrow morning. Make sure you don't miss that one at all, as that will be live, brought to you from our lounge here at Zurich Airport, which told today 75 years of this fantastic airport, and we get to stand in the tower. The prize money, though, that Simon Shelbert and everybody else will be wanting to play for is on the far side of your screen. 750 Swiss francs for a race win this evening here in Racing Unleashed, all the way down to 30 francs for a P10. The big prize that Nico Forland and Yannick Pletcher Valverde are playing for is at 3,000 Swiss francs for the championship win. That's what they want. It goes all the way down to 100 francs if you finish inside the top 10 in the championship. So there's prize money for the top 10, not only for the race, but the championship as well. The Racer League here, we'll get into a little more tomorrow. Bit more prize money for them chaps. But again, to finish inside that top 10 for Simon, it's going to be absolutely fantastic. And I believe this is a final look at this exit of the Parabolica for Lorenzo Hayter. Look at how close this is. What a run through it was. And as we slow it down and we get to the racing line, he pulls out there also. Oh, the racing line is fit across, sorry. So the timing screen didn't update after the first racing line. It updated after they went across the second line. So that is where the confusion was. They went across the first racing line, the first finish line, just under the bridge there. And Lorenzo Hayter clearly second place. The timing screen updated after they crossed that second finish line. And that then is where the confusion lied for the timing screens on our end that said that he had taken the lead by 33 thousandths of a second. There then. So, Simon Shelbert in calm. First pole position for them this year. First pole position for him. Race control. Now, there they are. As if by magic, we bring them up. Have a very, very tricky job. They now have to look at every incident that went on. And we saw a couple, 3 wide into corners with contact made. These guys have the tricky job now of making sure every decision is the correct decision and make sure that every decision is right. You see there, they're just looking at a few incidents. The interesting one there is Roger Mort in the middle, sat down, looking on the third monitor from the left. Just rock and roll in the screen a little bit, back and forth. And they're making sure that every decision is the right one. There is some of the Hayter family cheering on. Like we say, nice little bar in the Kemptall Lounge this weekend. So if you want to go down and get yourself a refreshment and watch some fantastic racing, make sure you head down to the Racing Lounge in Kemptall at the Motor World building and get yourself in. Noah's there. Noah's good company. He'll look after you, that is for sure. And we've got some great family and friends there. And just people who want to come and watch some great racing. There we go. A big thumbs up from the crowd and audience in behind then, as the drivers will be taking on plenty of fluids and plenty of refreshments. Even the animals, the dogs, are enjoying this one. And we will be heading into rush hour very, very shortly, as we'll be joined once again by Fabio to take a look at some replays and some incidents that occurred. And we can discuss that fantastic last lap from Lorenzo Hayter. Fabio, welcome back. Talk us through that knockout session.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, what a session to start this weekend. So awesome driving. Obviously also some incidents, but it's Monza. We know everyone that these kind of things can happen, especially in chicane 1 and chicane 2. Yeah. But other than that, I loved it. I mean,
Lorenzo Hayter at the very end got Unai Morotto. And what I'd believed on the timing screen, he'd got Simon Shelbert as well. But the race line is obviously the first one that's just under the bridge over the start line, not the second one where the timing screen then updated.
There are actually 3. So there is one in the middle of the straight. The one that you saw, or that we saw, the checkered one, isn't actually the one. It's the one after, and it's in the middle of the start-finish line. So that one was the close one. And then obviously the one where pole position is, that's when Hayter already passed Shelbert, but it was already over the session. So
it was still, though, a fantastic end to the session, no matter which way it went, because had Hayter got the move done, you sat there and thinking, wow, brilliant. the fact that Simon Shelbert came in first ever outing, first experience in a knockout qualifying session, hangs on to it. He said he made a few mistakes at the end, but he still did a very good job.
Yeah, I mean, well done to him. I mean, first ever outing in the Racing Unleashed Championship. Exactly, so very clean race, as we just heard by the producer. So, yeah, congrats to him. I mean, obviously in the beginning I would say he was fortunate because in the back all hell broke loose, right? Yeah. So he was able to pull a gap, but managed to go until the end without any big mistakes.
Yeah.
And,
held off
Haider.
Hats off as well to Unai Maroto, our 13-year-old driver here at Racing Unleashed, youngest driver we've had. Yep. P3 provisionally on the track for him. Yep. Just that one little mistake that let Lorenzo through at the very end. But again, another good knockout session for such a young man.
Good knockout session, as you said. This time I'm very happy for him because, he was always a bit of involved in some incidents. So this time it worked out for him. If he doesn't get a penalty, we don't know that yet, right? But still, there are some penalties that will follow, potentially Valverde, Sazo. So who knows how the final grid will look like, but I'm very excited for the race.
Very excited for the race. One man who's possibly excited is Yannick Pletcher. We obviously spoke to him in the pre-show before knockout started. He's coming from last. Yep. That's not the worst place to be in heading down into turn one here, is it?
That's correct. Yeah, I would say the midfield is not the place you want to be in the first lap, right? So I just hope for him it goes smoothly and he can recover from the incident of Zurich Airport. And then we'll see how he does.
Let's though go and take a look at the brothers in arms, the Haider brothers.
I don't hear it.
So there was Joshua Haider on the podium last time out at the Zurich Airport circuit, and his brother Lorenzo joined him on the podium as well. So it was a double podium for the brothers there, and it was great to see because they'd missed a few races previously, and for them to be on the podium together at the Zurich circuit, their home circuit as well, was fantastic to see them up there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, those guys are racing in real as well. They participate in many go-kart races actually. So they're on a roll actually. They're watching. Hopefully they can hear us, give us a wave maybe. But yeah, tough guys, very quick guys. Obviously it didn't work out for Joshua this time around, but let's wait and see. They're very quick. Lorenzo is on the front row, and Joshua for sure will go through the pack. And
well, let's speak with them now. Joshua, Lorenzo, was it 2 different knockout sessions for you there?
Yes, for sure.
Lorenzo, you're going to be starting on the front row. It was very close to getting the pole position, but the front row start, that is still a good session for you?
For sure. I started from P12. I thought I never go to the front row, but I have a bit of luck on this qualifying, so I'm really happy about that. P2 at the end, it's really close to P1, but shit happens. It is what it is. I do my best to P1, and we will see what happens.
Apologies for the language there, ladies and gentlemen. And Joshua, you're down the order a little bit, not the session you wanted.
No, definitely not. I had a good start in the beginning of the qualifying knockout. Made a few positions, and I think I was P8 or 7. Two guys were fighting in front of me. One of them go off track, spun, hit me, and that's it.
Now, you two brothers, obviously, as we know, race a lot together. What does it mean to race with each other as brothers?
It's a nice feeling to race with my brother here, but on the racetrack it's my enemy. So, and I have to race against him like the other guys too. So yeah, it's not my brother on the racetrack, but after that.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm very interested. Last time around in Zurich, you both ended up on the podium. How was that drive back? Did you celebrate? Did someone of you had a beer while the other one had to drive, unfortunately? How was that atmosphere in the car?
Well, funny, because in the qualifying knockout, he knocked me out. But yeah, well, the drive home was very, very nice. Good conversations, and no beer. I don't know. No
beer.
But I well, very good sleep.
Very good sleep indeed. Well, we wish you the best of luck for the race coming up today. Hopefully you can both get on the podium once again. Best of luck in the race.
Thank you so much.
Sorry for my bad English.
No, you're fine.
It's not
you're
the elephant from the egg.
You're fine. There was Joshua and Lorenzo Hayder then, the brothers, in the Kempthal Lounge. If you're down there, make sure you go and check them out, give them say hello to them, and go and support them through the race. They've got quite the support there as well. Let's go and take a look at a few highlights. Me and you ought to do one of these bumper videos there.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. Right, highlights coming up at the moment. Speaking of the knockout qualifying, I got a little interesting fact. You qualified P7 last year. I'm not going to tell you I won't say where you finished. I'll tell you at the end.
Okay.
This is going to be
P7.
Okay. So this is Lorenzo Hayder, 3 wide. Is this potentially why he finished so low down the pack? This is coming down towards Lesmo number 1, it does look like.
Runs out of road. Okay, then loses it, right? So here's the car going straight. Is that Lorenzo is going straight, actually?
Yeah. 3 into 1.
Doesn't really work.
Never really works, especially at a chicane. And that's kind of what caused a bit of chaos behind, wasn't it?
It's going to be interesting how race controls looks at this.
Where did Lorenzo is the one who's P2, yes?
Yeah, Lorenzo ended up in P2.
Interesting. So
What
that
were
was
the other cars? You know that? Did you spot that?
I think it was, I can't remember who was side by side, but I believe Koch got involved in the incident.
Yeah.
I think that was what we was watching at the time, but from a bit further back.
Yeah, because we saw so many cars going 3 wide, right? So it was very difficult.
Oh, it was Koch in the middle. There we go then. So
Koch, and we have,
I believe,
that's a Munich car.
Was that, who finished around Koch in this one? I believe possibly Michael Forland was the other. I'm not too sure, but yeah, and then Koch. I mean...
Yeah, this was unfortunate. I mean, he was in a spin. There was nothing he could really do. I guess he was on full block, right?
You'd hope he's on full brake, wouldn't you?
Yeah, obviously. But yeah, interesting bit, because Lorenzo, he was run out of road, lost it on the grass. Could also be maybe a penalty for him. I don't know. It's a difficult one, actually.
How bad do you feel for Mario Stanek? Because as we play the replay now, you've got the drama happening up front. Lorenzo Hayder's on the grass at the moment, and Stanek, who's just minding his own business, watches absolute chaos, thinks, oh, there's a gap there. No.
Okay, but he could maybe have avoided it, but the guy in front who was crushed by his competitors, I'm wondering who that was, actually. That was very unfortunate.
It was very unfortunate. I believe it was potentially Rivoli.
It was a blue
Just
car.
looking at my list here, Rivoli was down the order in P11.
It was a blue car, though. Blue mirrors.
Oh, blue mirrors. Well,
oh, I mean green, sorry.
The green for Kempthal.
Yeah, Kempthal.
Yeah,
I don't know who he was.
We know we had...
That guy, I mean, he didn't see that coming, right?
Turning into the chicane, next thing you're backwards in the air.
Yeah. Who did that in F1? Eliuzzi was with the HRT,
yes.
I think it was 2000.
There was an Aston Martin in the World Endurance a few years ago that hit that same sausage curb.
Yeah.
And ripped its door off.
Yep.
In the World Endurance Series.
A bad accident.
Yeah. So that sausage curb is not to be taken lightly, especially when you get pummeled over it.
Yeah. I mean, really, the tricky bit today really was if people go 3 wide.
Yeah.
What are you going to do with the guy who is on the grass with 2 wheels?
And this is a thing we've spoke about a lot.
The middle
this
car
season.
can't move, right? Because there is another one on the left, then you have one on the right. It's a bit of risk-taking.
The thing you have to look at with Lorenzo Hayder there is, like you say, because he's on the grass, the minute he hits his brakes, he's not stopping as quick as the two to the left of him.
Yep.
So, but he was pushed there.
Yep.
It's got to be give and take. We're all heading towards a chicane. We know the risks of heading towards a tight chicane, as is the first two corners here, and then turn 3 and 4. You know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't end well. Here's Eichenberger then. This is down at turn 1. This looks just so late on the brakes. On the back of Prax there then.
Yeah.
It's just so late on the brakes.
Yeah, that's a clear one. It's a penalty, obviously.
Yeah.
He's the guy in the back.
If I believe that was the first flying lap as well.
Was it?
I believe so.
I thought the first lap was clean, actually.
No. Because there is Simon just in front. Over the curb he goes. Prax, this is silly. That will get you a penalty. Oh, and he moves again. That will get him a penalty.
Yeah, and Prax already has, I believe, 15 penalty points or something.
Eichenberger there, just $8 short.
Yep.
We know what Monza is. If you come to race at Monza, you know what you're expecting heading into turn 1. You're at top speed, coming down the start straight. You know if you're behind another car, you've got to brake early.
Yep, indeed. Yeah. Misjudgment a little bit, maybe, because it didn't look like he had too much speed actually going into the chicane. Maybe he was a bit surprised that Prax braked earlier than him. But that's the thing, right? That's the thing with the knockout format. The slower guys are in front, so you've got to be careful with your braking points, etc.
And it has to be the overtaking car's responsibility not to make the contact with the car in front. Luckily enough, they didn't end up on top of each other like Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton the other year. That's a discussion for another day. But it was, a tap around and Prax, unsafe rejoin. Again, it's another slam dunk, isn't it? You get spun around, you have to wait for the traffic to go. It ruins your session, but you have to wait.
Yeah. Have you ever been in that situation?
Yes.
You have?
Yeah.
Yeah, you also play at home, right?
Yeah.
But it's such a hard feeling, right? To let everyone pass.
Yeah.
And then go back on.
Because you're so frustrated.
Yeah,
you've been spun around.
You just want to get on. And, oh my God, I just made a mistake, or I was spun around. I want to get on with the race.
This is Joshua Hayder then on Michael Waversick, who bunny hops the curb and taps the back of. So that's what happened to Joshua Hayder then and ended his session.
I think that's just unfortunate racing incident.
Waversick bounces, when you're mid-air and you can't control what the car's doing. He just kind of lands into the path of Joshua Hayder's rear wheel.
Yeah, I didn't look at the bouncing yet, but maybe we can watch it back.
Hopefully we can get that one back to have another look. But
yeah,
it looks like Waversick's in a fight just in front. He comes off the curb, and as he lands...
Potentially, or maybe he wasn't really aware that Joshua was there, right? Yeah. I mean, because Joshua was really using all of the track. It's very tricky because you don't really see what's going on behind because you only have a central rear mirror.
Yeah.
You don't see what's going on the left and on the right.
Pretty much like in Formula One, the wing mirrors are not really useful. Like in Formula One, you can't really see anything. This is Michael Waversick from the Helicam. So he's in a fight with the car in front. Joshua Hayder's the white and blue behind. So he's going to the outside of the chicane and doesn't get the move done. Bounces off the sausage curb there, which we can't really see from that.
The thing is, okay, you're right. Bounces off the sausage curb, but there's a car's width.
Yeah.
Space. So I don't know, maybe Joshua pulled in too early because he already thought he was past him. Well, or it was really the bouncing that really caught him off, and he went into Joshua.
Racing incident?
I'm lucky I don't have to decide.
In your perspective, racing incident,
I would maybe deem it as a racing incident.
Here we go, on board Waversick.
Let's see what I think after this.
Waversick's ran out of room, look.
Yeah.
Only just catch it, and it's the bouncing there. You can see the lock is to the right. It's the bouncing of this car after it's hit the sausage curb, because if you look at his wheel input, it is right, still turning.
Yeah, but he was run out of road. That's another issue.
So are we looking at racing incident Joshua Hayder on Waversick?
Yeah. And the
Are we possibly looking at the car Waversick was on the outside of, running Waversick across the track, off the track, and having to cut that part of the chicane?
Yeah, basically.
Basically causing a collision with another, even though it wasn't together, it was with another car.
Yeah, like an indirect involvement, right?
Assisted.
An assist, yeah, you could say so. Yeah, tricky bit, really.
Yeah.
Let's wait and see what happens to that one.
Let's wait.
But there were many more. There were many more incidents.
So we've just been told that Lorenzo has got a 2-place grid penalty, which is 10 penalty points to his name. Now, I'm not currently aware of what penalty points he's on, but Lorenzo Hayder then, 2-place grid penalty at the moment, which will promote Unai Morotto onto the front row of the grid, 13 years old.
We're not sure yet.
Well, at the moment, as far as we're aware. Here's another one then, Lorenzo Hayder, Ascari chicane. This is Lorenzo Hayder on Nico Forlan. Now, is this what happened to Nico Forlan? Hell of a run through Ascari. Oh, who's that that's lost it? Oh. So that looks to me...
Right, that was
Michael Forland, I do believe, because we saw the blue car backwards in the wall as we come down the straight. So Forland has reacted to the car spinning in front, Hayder hasn't.
That's bad luck, really. I mean, I didn't see if he really braked or not. That's the thing that race control is looking at. If drivers try to avoid an incident, obviously Michael did because he was on the brakes.
Yeah.
Lorenzo might have just seen it too late, And sometimes it just goes so fast and you can't react, and then it's a penalty. Obviously, you feel you've been treated unfairly, but race control really has to decide at some point, okay, was it avoidable or not? Yeah. And in that case, maybe it wasn't.
And we saw Michael Forland look very, very unhappy when he climbed out the cockpit of the car, and you can kind of see why he was frustrated. Here's Walter Troninger then. In a fantastic situation is Walter Troninger. He's got a couple of cars in front, and just taps him around. 5 penalty points. Eager. That's a grid, 1-place grid penalty for him.
Yeah, that's 2 places, right, for him.
Is it 2?
It's 2 and 4 for Lorenzo.
So 4 for Lorenzo.
Yeah, that one that we just saw, he was just very eager to go through on the outside, maybe get a better exit on the car in front. Unfortunately, the car, turned in a bit more sharply and contact was made.
Again, first chicane, you know what to expect. He's come from a long way back.
Yeah, the first chicane and the second one actually as well. They have a bit of a, I don't know, like a dark hole there where drivers make mistakes and get penalties. It's just, not really good for their results. Rather maybe risk a bit less than you should.
Yeah.
But honestly, you as a racer as well, you know how it works. Sometimes you just commit and then it's already too late.
Yeah, of course. This is something that they've got to be mindful of going into the start of the second race. 20-car grid, all bunched up, heading to turn 1.
Yeah. I mean, do you think it was a good or wise idea by Yannick not to look at the knockout? Because so many incidents happened.
No.
And
No.
The thing is, now maybe he doesn't know who is actually at risk of having a race ban or a knockout ban for the next event, right? So naturally, if you having a lot of penalty points or on the verge of that ban, you tend to be a bit more cautious. So maybe that would work in favor of Yannick because he can actually go full out.
Yeah.
He served his...
he's got his 20 penalty points back.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see how that goes.
Well, one man we've just been told who will be missing the next race is Andreas Prax. Race ban, we've just been told in our area.
Okay.
Full weekend ban, which means he will not compete at Catalonia next time out at the end of September. So Prax will not be competing at that event. He has he served his knockout ban. He's been given an extra 20 penalty points, which means he's got a full weekend ban.
Because he already had a knockout ban, right? So that's his additional 20 points, which lead to a weekend ban, actually. Tough luck. I didn't see all of his incidents, but still, it's the way it is at Racing Unleashed, right?
And we brought the penalty points, obviously, because we don't run the damage simulation on a set of course. So we brought the penalty points in as a way of, that's your damage. You want to compete, you want to make silly mistakes, you want to hit other cars, right, there's a ban.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is the way we're not damaging the cars, we're damaging your chance of a race win or a championship.
Yep.
Here is the penalty roster, so we can just go through who has got the penalty points and who has what penalty points available. So Schlegel.
Actually, that's the one going into this weekend, right? It's not...
Yes, so this is going into this weekend.
Yeah.
So Fabio Schlegel has 38 points to his name. Now, he's only 12 points away from a race ban himself. Luckily enough, he's not here this week. Okay. Yannick Plech is on 37. We know he's got his knockout ban. He only needs 13 more points to get himself a full week's ban, if I'm correct.
Yeah, no, actually, those guys with the...
Oh, no, you're correct.
One,
they'll get reset.
They get reset to 0 because they have to serve.
So Yannick and Gianluca get theirs reset. Lorenzo Hayes obviously already served a knockout ban. Morotto there, 2 points to his name as well. So the drivers already on knockout bans that you saw at the top of that list that are in orange. Yannick and Palmisano, for example, this weekend, they'll be reset to 0. 20 more points, they're in the bin. Yeah. The penalty point system is 2-place grid penalty is... as if by magic again. 2 place, 5 penalty points, 4 place, 10. 6 places is a 15 penalty point ban. I double that for lap 1 if we look at the race. 5-second time penalty is 5 points. 10-second and 15-second time penalty is 10 and 15 penalty points. Again, doubled if it's a first lap incident.
Yep.
But then you've got this, which you can then, if you have a clean knockout session, if you have a clean race session as well, you can lose 2 points. There's the page. Yep. You can lose 2 points for a clean knockout. You can lose 3 penalty points for a clean race. So, it's interesting, the risk.
Yeah, I mean, this actually was decided by the drivers. So we at Racing Unleashed were in discussions with the drivers. Do you want to be rewarded for clean racing? So we, at the beginning, said, okay, 5 for a clean knockout, 5 for a clean race, -5, right? But they decided against it. They said, no, we want to have a difference there, so we put -2 and -3. And maybe after the first 5 races, they should have done otherwise. But that's the way it goes at Racing Unleashed at the moment. But we thought, okay, for clean racing, you should be rewarded and could sweep your penalty points roster.
Now, just been told in my ear that Michael Waversick, Unai Morotto, Tyler Klausch and Adrian Gomez have a 2-place grid penalty, I do believe. No, they are awarded 2 penalty points. Apologies.
They had a clean session then.
They've had a clean session, which means they have had their 2 points removed from their licence. So we saw there Unai Morotto only had 2 penalty points. Yep. He's now back to 0 because he's had a clean knockout.
Exactly, so he can risk it all, but I don't advise to do that. But yeah, it's always good to, in the back of your mind, to have 0 on your roster.
Yeah.
I mean, 5 or 6 would be okay as well. But if you get to the 10, it could end quickly because first lap incidents, double points, right? Or you're just having a bad day and then it's all gone.
It is all gone. The drivers need to be a bit more wary into turn 1, 2, 3 and 4 a little later on. We see, though, the slipstream worked well today. Push to pass now gets added to this, so we could see some overtaking this afternoon.
But maybe, push to pass will help to avoid incidents, because some guys were eager to get to the front.
Yeah.
They will actually use it on the straight. They're not there to outbrake the others. So I think potentially will, weaken the incidents. But we'll see. You never know, right? But it's going to be interesting how they use it on the second straight, or basically on the run to Parabolica, and then maybe they do the counter-attack on the start-finish line. Yeah. So who knows?
Indeed, it's going to be absolutely fantastic as the race is coming up in a few moments' time. And we now are going to take a look at the one to watch and the driver to watch this week, or this time out at challenge number 6, is Nico Farland, who has been, I think we've described him this year as Mr. Consistent this season. He's been absolutely fantastic to watch, and he took himself his first race win of the season last time out at the Zurich Airport circuit. It's going to be Nico Farland who's going to come into the final couple of corners now. And he's going to take his first race win of the season. It is going to be a race win for Nico Farland. Job well done for him. Fantastic scenes. That more confetti at Munich. You'll love to see. You feel for the guy who's got to hoover it up. And this is about to be a fantastic moment. The more confetti, the gold confetti this time for your race winner, Nico Farland.
I think it's his girlfriend there, so well done. Well done.
This is Racing Unleashed Beyond the Pinnacle.
And he was the man to watch this time out. Provisionally, he crossed the line in P10, but with penalties to certain drivers, will he be promoted up the order? The man to watch, though, Mr. Consistent, he's been this season. He's been absolutely electric, and there's no wonder he leads this championship.
Yeah, I mean, he's done a fantastic job this season. Obviously, wasn't really keen on winning in the beginning, but still he managed to do it at the Zurich Airport circuit. Yeah, very happy for him. He stayed out of trouble.
Yeah.
He's been very consistent. And yeah, he just needs to keep doing what he's doing. And, you know, maybe at the end of the season, he can lift off the championship trophy.
He's actually just disappeared from underneath the camera at the very bottom. So he has just disappeared. There is Munich, though. And it's all dimmed lights ready for the race. There's Walter Troninger at the bottom of screen. And there is Nico Farland, who pops back into picture. Give us a wave. Thank you very much. And a thumbs up. He is the man to watch, though, this week. He's the one who leads the championship. And with his closest championship rival starting at the back of the grid, Nico Farland has got a chance to extend this championship lead. But Valverde and Torlaci are right there.
They're right there. Borja is also there.
Yeah.
Lorenzo is there. Joshua, they're all quick drivers. Maybe I've forgotten someone. Yeah, Monza is going to be really interesting, and I'm looking very much forward to this race. And it can happen so many things in the first lap, in the second one. So don't count out Pletcher.
Don't count out Pletcher. Don't count out any driver. Even if they've had a lap one spin, there's a chance they could still come back in this one. I want to pick your brain, though. Race winner.
The thing is, I don't know the grid order, right?
We'll pull the pot back out.
Okay.
Race
last
winner.
time I was 2 out of 2.
2
right?
for 2 last time, yeah. So no pressure this week.
Okay. Valverde.
Valverde. Okay.
And yours?
I'm gonna go Farland.
Farland?
I'm going to go Farland.
Okay,
I think
right.
Farland's got the job done here. Look at the atmosphere again, though, in the Kemptol Lounge. Drivers, family, friends, or if you're just in Kemptol near the Motorworld building, come down. Drinks on offer, as well as the chance to watch a fantastic broadcast. And you get to look at these two pretty faces for your evening as well. There's some fantastic action throughout the night.
Very electric there, you see that?
Yeah. We're here tomorrow as well, so you don't want to miss it. And we're back at the end of September, which the qualification actually for this one opens up pretty quickly. 18th September, we open the qualification period up for the Challenger League, and that closes on the 27th September. That is for the Catalunya Barcelona circuit that we are going to, but Temple of Speed, Monza. We've just had 13 frantic laps where it was non-stop until we started to eliminate drivers. We've now got a 22-lap race, which is you're going to be on the edge of your seat.
Yeah, are you ready for it?
No.
Your voice?
My voice.
That's good.
We've got...
I hope it's going to be an awesome battle in the front. Also, with Yannick coming from the back.
Because that's the other thing. We had Yannick and Gianluca to the grid, so we get 2 extra cars now to fight it out as well.
Yeah, awesome. How many laps are there?
22.
22.
Yeah.
That's going to be nice.
22, 5.8 kilometres pretty much. It's going to be fantastic to see the Temple of Speed. It never seems to disappoint in the real world, whether it's Formula One or endurance racing, and it did not disappoint in the knockout qualifying session here either. in the Challenger League. With the race starting shortly, the drivers will be getting ready to go. But the race is coming up. Thank you, Fabio. We'll catch you a little later on in the programme.
Thanks.
So that was the Rush Hour programme there, where me and Fabio discussed some of the highlights, some of the footage that we get to see, certain incidents from certain camera angles given to us by our fantastic team upstairs above us, right in this Zurich Airport Tower. It's fantastic what footage we get and the angles we get to see. But we are about to go racing, which means we get to step down onto the virtual grid and take a look at what the grid order will be. It is a mystery to all. One thing we can tell you, though, is that Simon Shelbert is P1. We know Lorenzo Hayder will not be lining up P2. He got himself a penalty, which means he will drop down the order. In fact, I've just been told in my ear he will be starting in P6. So the race coming up, 22 frantic laps around this circuit. You still have a few moments time. If you need to get a drink, I'd grab plenty of water. I've got mine at the ready just next to me here. I'd get yourself plenty of water, or a beer or two maybe, because the race coming up is going to be absolutely fantastic. Let's get on to the virtual grid.
This is Racing Unleashed Beyond the Pinnacle.
And it is green and go. It's a good start from Rock already. They make contact. Absolutely flying. He's a man on a mission at the moment. Right into the gravel. What's happened up front? Oh, it's chaos. Can't overtake, he said. Augustin Torlacci, a very happy man on the simulator as well.
This is Racing Unleashed.
And we're here on our virtual starting grid then, getting ready to go with the drivers right alongside us in their cockpits. Not quite yet, because Yannick Pletcher hasn't arrived in his, but he's going from P20 on the grid. And hopefully in Kemptol they're there, because I can't see Gianluca Palmisano in his cockpit either. But we're on the virtual grid. Yannick Pletcher and Gianluca Palmisano, they've served their knockout qualifying bans. They have to now get ready. They've had the extra time to prepare. They may have seen the chaos that went off in the knockout qualifying session. They are now going for this in the race. Yannick giving us a little wave there, as he will be going from P20 on the grid. With P19, Gianluca Palmisano yet to come into the cockpit. I believe he is there now, getting his gloves on to climb into the cockpit. And I believe we will be able to speak with Gianluca when he is inside and when he is ready to go. As in he clambers, thumbs up to the staff at Kemptol. And a best of luck wish from our colleagues there as Gianluca is now climbing into his cockpit and he's making sure he's comfortable. Because one thing you really need in these simulators is that comfortable feeling. You need to make sure you're fully focused, relaxed, comfy. You do not want one little distraction, because it will cause you so much in terms of time lost or little mistakes if you are not as comfortable as can be. As it looks like Gianluca now puts his headset on. And I believe we can hear from Gianluca Palmisano. But it is Yannick Pletcher when he climbs into the cockpit. I think that was him running across screen a moment ago. Will be lining up P20 on the grid. Yeah, Gianluca Palmisano will be in P19 as well. And them two, we know, are the two that will be starting there, because they was on their knockout qualifying bans. So fully refreshed penalty points. They both go back to zero for this race, and they both get a chance to re-go again in terms of their penalties. Gianluca, I don't think is with us at the moment, but he'll be going from P19 on the grid then as he gets ready for the race. He's had a bit of time out of the cockpit, and hopefully he's took fluids on board for this one. Jean, can you hear us? If so, knockout ban done. Fully focused on the race?
Yes. Full focus.
What can we do from position 19? Because you possibly are in the better position here?
Es kann viel in der ersten Kurve passieren und darum denke ich mal ein bisschen viel down bei der ersten Kurve oder bei der ersten Schikane und dann Step by Step sieht man, was es passieren kann.
Well,
let me translate. I can tell you, he said first corner is crucial and there a lot can happen, and he's speculating that he has a good luck for the first corner.
Well, Jan, we'll let you get focused on the race at Monza. Good luck from P19.
Thank you very much.
P18 then is Andreas Prax in our lounge in Calm. Then he'll be going from 18th on the grid for a couple of penalties. Drop him down the order. As we then head to Munich to Michael Farland, father of championship leader Nico. Michael, P17 on the grid. We're just awaiting him to come in. Apologies for that one. We are just awaiting him to come into the commentary box and join us. But he's 17th on the grid, so he's got some work to do from there. Not a bad position to be in, though, 17th. It's towards the back end of the grid. You could miss some of the carnage at turn one. And I believe we now have him with us. If so, Michael, 17th on the grid. What can you do from there? Right, we are struggling to get him in through our TeamSpeak server into the commentary box, so I don't know if we're going to get to speak with Michael Farland this evening. He is currently P17, as we have our Racing Unleashed colleagues trying to sort out so we can hear Michael Farland as he goes from 17th on the grid. He's back. He's missed a couple of rounds in recent months, in recent weeks. So he's back today. Obviously, father of championship leader Nico. We had the brothers in arms of the Hayder brothers. We now get the father and son duo of Michael and Nico Farland onto the grid as well. And it's great to see father and son on the grid as they go through P17. Michael, P17 on the grid. What can you do from there? Nope, still nothing at the moment. Yes. We are just getting him in now. Right, Michael Farland, 17th. What's the goal?
So I have just keeping a clean race. So try to find my own pace in the race. Just have luck for the race. It's all what I do.
Best of luck, Michael. P16 then is Dennis Eichenberger from Kemptal. He's P16 on the grid then, and he'll be going from there after a spin earlier on. Andreas Koch in P15th place as well in the Kemptal Racing Lounge. They're towards the back and mid-pack of the grid this week. Joshua Hayder, 14th place for him. The German driver will be wanting to make up some places. Mario Stanek from Kemptal as well will go from 13th place. They're all towards the middle of the pack before one-time winner Augustin Torlacci, P12 in Madrid. Back over to Munich. Antonio Rivoli, the Italian on home soil, P11. What can he do from the middle of the grid? Our oldest driver on the grid, Walter Troninger, the Austrian from Munich, P10. Nico Farland, championship leader, is 9th place in Munich before Michael Waversick will go from P8. Marcus Valverde in contention for the championship is P7, with Lorenzo Hayder in P6 after a couple of penalties takes him from the front row. Borges Orzo promoted into P5 with Tyler Klausch coming from P4. Adrian Gomez, who had a fantastic session, is going from P3 in the Madrid Lounge. In Madrid, have got a few drivers up the top of the order because our youngest driver, Unai Morotto, will be going from P2 on the grid. And our first-time driver, our debutant today, Simon Shelbert, in Calm, will go from P1. That is the grid order as we get ready to go racing. So the race will take place in a couple of moments' time and we're about to get underway. It's going to be fantastic to see a few penalties we saw there from certain drivers meant that they dropped down the order. Unai Morotto, though, promoted to the front row of the grid. And this is really crucial for him. He's 13 years of age, let's not forget. Some of us started racing at 11. That was 19 years ago. But not at this standard. And if my eldest son is watching at home, you're nearly 13, so we'll have to get you to Racing Unleashed and see if you can compete with these guys. My youngest is only 8, so he's not far away either. But we're about to go racing here at Monza. The revs starting to pick up slowly And it is Simon Shelbert on pole position for this one. Who will be the race winner? We await the red lights to come on the screen. It is very, very crucial now, these final moments of preparation. Race control may have their heart in their mouth at the moment because they'll want a nice clean start to this race. The lights appear on the screen now. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 red. Green and go for Challenge 6 here at Monza, and it's a great start then from the race leader of Shelbert. Morotto's got a great launch as well, and that looks to be like it's Gomez who's around the outside and contact. Morotto is sideways, backwards over the curb, and it is an absolute pile-up at turn 1, and you cannot make this up. The stewards now will already start their investigation as Morotto tumbles down the leaderboard, but it is Gomez more collisions. Valverde deep off at the Curva Grande, and it is absolute chaos. We've only had 2 corners here at Monza, and all hell has broken loose. Rivoli, Nico Forlan, championship leader, involved in all of this. And who did I say had the best starting position? Yannick Pletcher and Gianluca Palmisano, 13th and 14th already. Gomez, 8/10 of a second out front in the lead at the moment. Forlan has got work to do, as does Valverde. The drivers that me and Fabio said that we think would win the race, both down the back of the pack. Lorenzo Hayder's just moved into P3. Absolute chaos at turn 1. Out of Ascari we come. It is Gomez from Shelbert. Lorenzo Hayder, Borges Orzo's now up into P4 as he's just got past Tyler Klausch, who's now in 5th place. With Joshua Hayder coming from 14th all the way up the order into 6th place at the moment. Michael Waversick in P7. And here comes Hayder, pulls out now. Stays within the track limits, down towards turn 1. He's got the inside line. A bit of contact there between Klausch and Hayder. And Klausch manages to hang back on that position and get it back to Olachi's got past Waversick. Pletcher has got past Michael Forlan. Gianluca Palmisano's dropped back a couple of places. Klausch will have the outside line through the Curva Grande. They go. Here comes Hayder to the inside. Now, job done before he gets there. Push to pass in full effect in a place I don't think many drivers would use it. Zorzo, I don't recall, has had a podium this season, ball winning the prologue. But he's just outside it at the minute, on the back of Lorenzo Hayder, who's on the back of Shelbert as Gomez is starting to break away early here. And Shelbert will have this push to pass feature new to him to use. Forlan's now to 16th place. Valverde still down in 18th. Into Ascari they come. P4 is Borges Orzo. He's got Joshua Hayder right behind him now for company. As Tyler Klausch, he's got Augustin Torlacci. Where's Yannick Pletcher? He's moved up to 12th, so he's trying to come back on the rest of the pack for some points. And while Forlan's not in the points, it's a chance for him to score some today. Joshua Hayden through the parabolic. A good run down the start straight. Zorzo and Lorenzo both use a lap of push to pass. As does Michael Waversick down in P8. And who is that side by side a little further forward? It is Shelbert being overtaken round the outside by Lorenzo Hayder. They manage to go side by side, and Hayder gets the job done. That looked a fantastic move. And Lorenzo Hayder moves himself up into 2nd place. And now Shelbert, under some immense pressure from Borges Orzo, down through the Curva Grande in towards the 2nd chicane. Zorzo, nearly clips the back of Hayder there as he gets past Shelbert then. And Shelbert now off the podium but still in contention. Joshua Hayder though is now right behind him as well. And we said the push to pass might make this a little more exciting. There is Simon Shelbert, little wide through the 2nd Lesmo. But can now focus on watching some of the more experienced drivers here at Racing Unleashed and looking at where they take their lines, where they pick up their braking zones. Gomez out front, 1.7 seconds to the good at the moment. Now, out of all these drivers at the front, the closest driver who can get a 2nd race win of the season is Torlacci. But he's down in 7th place at the moment as Yannick Pletcher now into P9. He's in the points and Nico Forlan's only 16th, so he's not able to come for points at the minute. As now, Joshua Hader looks to get past Shelbert again, down the inside. Great move, job's already done. You can see the car in the background. He may think of two, as he's to the outside of Borges-Arzo at turn 1. That is a great move from Joshua Hader. Push to pass maybe at full effect there. And that is Hader's brothers back on the podium once again. Marotto has got past Michael Farland. Troninger has knocked Waversick out of the points. And it is good racing as now here comes Shelbert to the outside of Borges-Arzo. Gets it done at the second chicane. Just gives Zarzo enough room, and that puts Torlacci up another place. He won't mind that one little bit. Big snap there, Shelbert on the exit of the Lesmo one. All the curb at Lesmo too. We spoke, me and Fabio all season have said how these new RU23 cars are a little more twitchier. We're seeing that in full effect today. That though is Tyler Klaus trying to now get past Borges-Arzo. Has got past Borges-Arzo, so in one lap Zarzo's gone from P3 to P7. This is how close this grid is today, and it is like a train chugging along the tracks down the back straight here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. And there is P9 of Yannick Pletcher. Always looks so calm in the cockpit. Always looks like he's just so relaxed, as if it's a Sunday stroll he's having. This is a car defending further forward, and I have a feeling that is possibly Shelbert either attacking or defending. It was defending because Tyler Klaus has got through then. Michael Farland has dropped behind Nico, but they've both dropped behind Gianluca Palmisano. Here is Unai Marotto after his turn 1 lap 1 incident where he was backwards across the first chicane, down in 19th, but has got Rivoli just ahead. Shelbert's now down in 6th. Oh, bad run out of the second chicane. Borges-Arzo through. Zarzo up to P6, and coming behind is Stanek and Pletcher. And Pletcher will want every single point he gets. The man who is really helping out here is Augustin Torlacci in this championship fight. Now Shelbert on the back of Zarzo. Will he look into Ascari? No, stays tucked behind. And Yannick Pletcher as calm as ever. Look at this train. Absolutely fantastic. Troninger just in the background, 2 seconds off the back of Yannick Pletcher. Waversick 2 seconds behind him. He's got Dennis Eichenberger in P12. Valverde's just got past Michael Farland, and Koch has got past the both of them. Shelbert though now helpless to a move from Mario Stanek. I would say licked the stamp and sent it, but he's got the job done before he's even hit the brakes. And Shelbert now down to P8 as Yannick closes in, and Shelbert's got to be wary in his mirrors now, because Yannick Pletcher, a very, very good driver, will want to make some moves here. Shelbert's had a cracking debut, though. He said points is what he'd take. And in fact, he's going to have a look now into the second chicane. And Yannick just patiently waiting. Calm, hold it together, Yannick. That may have agitated him a little bit there. Nico Farland's now moved into P12. He's got past Eichenberger. Valverde's up to 15th. And Lorenzo Hader out front has used half his push to pass. Here comes Yannick outside. Before they hit the brakes to Ascari, Yannick Pletcher is into P8 and is right on the back of Mario Stanek as well. But Yannick has only got 3 usages of push to pass left, and there is still plenty of laps up for grabs here. So Yannick's got to be a little wise to this maybe in his challenge further down the line. Eichenberger tumbling down the standings. He's dropped to 19th place as Joshua Hader sets a PB there. And down the start straight they come. Yannick uses one more push to pass. There is Dennis Eichenberger. And Yannick up the inside. Easy. Job done. Yannick Pletcher will not have an easier job to do all day. He's a man on a mission at the minute. Michael Farland's got past Rivoli. Gianluca Palmisano has got past Michael Waversick. Job's not done yet, though, for Yannick Pletcher, because Stanek's coming back at him. Stanek's going to have the inside line into the second chicane, late on the brakes. Yannick keeps it there, squeezes Stanek a little bit, but a good move from Yannick Pletcher to keep hold of that place. And Mario Stanek will have to wait once more, but Yannick Pletcher charging, I think is the word at the moment, charging at the temple of speed. Now, Rivoli and Gianluca Palmisano are 2 Italian drivers today. Well, Palmisano's 11th. Rivoli down in 17th place. So not having the best of time on home soil here. This man is, though. Look at them eyes. Determined eyes there from Adrian Gomez. Fully focused on his task ahead. He's got good push-to-pass usage over Lorenzo Hayder. 100th quicker on the last lap. Torlacci dipping into the 119s. 119.5. Immense pace from Augustin Torlacci. Here is Mario Stanek down in P8, just not close enough to the back of Yannick Pletcher. Yannick Pletcher, who I actually saw, put on his Instagram yesterday, the qualifying times. He was setting some electrifying pace. Speaking of electrifying pace, the 13-year-old Unai Marotto up the inside. Job done. Not quite yet. Michael Forland. No, sorry, that's Rivoli. Just gives him a little push wide. So Marotto's got to come back at Rivoli once again then. But it is Gomez from Lorenzo Hayder, Joshua Hayder. As Marcus Valverde moves up into P13 ahead of Michael Waversick. Lorenzo Hayder, though, right on the back now of Gomez within half a second. He's bringing his brother with him. Brothers in arms, literally, because they are pulling each other along. Gomez goes left, comes back right. He can come back across in the braking zone, provided Hayder's not there. He's back in the braking zone. He can't move anymore now. That'll be considered weaving. Lap 8 to 22. And we've got a fight on for the lead. And Lorenzo Hayder, well, he left it late in knockout. Will he leave it late in the race? So Gomez, Hayder. In the background, you see Joshua Hayder and then Torlacci. Klausch a little off the back of Torlacci, 2.9 seconds behind. He's got Zarzo and Pletcher coming for comfort. But Lorenzo Hayder here, fully focused on pulling out and having a look at Gomez. He doesn't know. Keeps it well tucked in behind. Oh, lot of curb there for Lorenzo through the second chicane into the first Lesmos then. And he's within that half a second still. Joshua's coming, Torlacci's coming. So they're all trying to chase down Gomez. Madrid, 2 wins to their name. Kemptol, 2 wins to their name in terms of the racing lounges this season. And would you know it's 2 Madrid drivers versus 2 Kemptol drivers. It's Joshua watching his brother in front. Just try and close that gap to Gomez a little bit. Gomez. Just a little bit of movement down the straight, keeps it middle of the track, back to the braking zone and gets it into the parabolica now. Hayder gains a little bit of time down the back straight. Finds a bit more through the parabolica and now will feel the effect of the slipstream. Loses literally 0.004 of a second to Gomez on the last lap, but has got an immense run out the parabolica that he's closed with just over 0.3 of a second getting on the brakes. He does, manages not to go through the back of Gomez. And Hayder, who picked up that penalty in knockout, want to make sure he's not involved in any incidents. Klausch just cannot keep with the front 4 here, though. 3.8 seconds off the back of the front 4. Just cannot stick with him. And Lorenzo working so hard to stick to the back of Gomez. We know the dirty air will be causing Lorenzo a little bit of bother here. But for Adrian Gomez at the minute, he's absolutely flying. And doing a cracking job of keeping them there. They both use push to pass now down towards Ascari. Lorenzo's looking. Sends one up the inside. Great move in Ascari. Lorenzo Hayder leads this race. And Joshua Hayder is now right on the back of Adrian Gomez. Well, he left nothing out there, did Lorenzo then. He put it all on the table and got it done. A contact between Joshua and Gomez. Luckily, no driver comes off bad from that one. And Joshua stays behind Gomez, who has a poor parabolica. And now Joshua pulls out. Gomez uses push to pass. Joshua uses push to pass. I believe Torlacci has used push to pass. And Joshua to the outside of Gomez. Gomez will slap that inside line for turn 1. It is job done. And it is a Hayder brother 1-2 at the moment here at Monza. It is Kemptol 1-2 from Madrid 3-4. But now Gomez has Torlacci for company. They've all got similar push-to-pass usages left. So it's all going to be about driver skill and ability. As Gomez puts Torlacci there on the grass. Now, there may be a few words exchanged in Madrid after that one, I imagine. The Argentinian will not be happy about that in his lucky green sim he took the race win with. is now P4, or is still P4. And while all this is happening, Tyler Klaus still cannot get on the back of these drivers. As Torlacci now to the outside at... I forgot the corner name, but the move was fantastic. I forgot the corner name while that happened. Torlacci right around the outside of Ascari. What a move. And Torlacci moves into P3. I paused as they braked into that corner there. Klaus can't get close because he's got his own problems of Zorzo and Pletcher in the background. Hassel in the back of him, and Gomez in a lap has gone from first to fourth. Bite of the lip there. Hayder brother 1-2. Oh, do not come together again. They don't, but Joshua just outbrakes himself, parks it on the apex. That's what I was watching last week at the touring cars, parking it on the apex. Do not let your brother through. He has now. He treats him as every other race driver, he said earlier on. They're side by side through the Curva Grande, down towards the second chicane. It's Joshua Hayder against his brother Lorenzo, and it's Lorenzo who gets the place back. The car journey, maybe an awkward one if these two make contact and throw away a race win here. Torlacci coming right back at them. Shelbert has been passed by Nico Forland. He's now in the points. He's up to 9th place. And Troninger gets past Shelbert as well. So Shelbert on debut drops out the points. Michael Forland down in last. And Augustin Torlacci watching the brothers in arms tackle each other around this circuit. One use of push to pass for the top three. Gomez has 3. But he's dropping off the back of these front 3 at the moment. He's got to start to use that push to pass to get right on the rear end again. Zorzo's been passed by Yannick Pletcher. Pletcher with 1 lap of usage left as well. He's on the back of Tyler Klaus. Here is Yannick Pletcher. And he's used his final usage of push to pass. Still looks like he's just out for a drive on the streets of Keptal. And thank you, Mama, for the carrots up the inside. Yannick Pletcher, P5, coming back at him, Tyler Klaus. No, right, this is the big task for Yannick Pletcher now. Can he get it done? He's got 10 laps, of no push to pass, while Tyler Klaus has 2 and Zorzo has 4. He's got work to do. These drivers, though, do practice with no push to pass, so he'll know his pace without it. He's now got to make sure he can produce that pace. Front 3, 1 lap apiece. Gomez has 3 laps. Tyler Klaus has 2 on the back of Yannick Pletcher through the second Lesmo. Yannick already breaking that slipstream, and you just see Yannick just starting to pull away. Klaus just doesn't seem to have the pace of the top 5 today. It's Pletcher into Ascari. 4 seconds he's got to make up over drivers with push to pass. Borja Zorzo was on the podium earlier on. Our prologue winner. Look at Klaus not following Yannick in terms of the slipstream. Does he feel he's going to lose too much following Yannick? He's lost a couple of tenths actually through the Parabolica. Yannick keeps such a tight line there. That is an interesting line for Yannick Pletcher through the Parabolica there, breaking the slipstream and making sure he pulls that gap to 0.7 of a second to Tyler Klaus. Lorenzo Hayder, Joshua Hayder, Augustin Torlacci have broken away from Gomez. Unai Morotto's up to 16th place, the young 13-year-old. Looks nice and relaxed. Shrugs his shoulders as the seatbelt pulls hard on his torso. Into the braking zone. And this is where you'll feel the seatbelt pulling on your upper body. Really into the deep braking zone. As Valverde's now on the edge of the points. He's up into P11. Nico Forland's P9. Don't think mine and Fabio's picks are going to win this one. Zorzo now still on the back of Klaus, but Stanek is about to join the party. Mario Stanek, 4 laps of push to pass as well. Coming to play here. Valverde's now just moved himself into 10th place. So points for the top 4 championship competitors, but it's Torlacci and Pletcher who are scoring big at the moment. The top 3's time separated by about a tenth. Yannick a little off the top 3's pace, but it's half a second quicker than Tyler Klaus, who he started to gap Tyler Klaus. That gap's over a second now, and Klaus has got Push to pass available. Borja Zorzo late on the brakes there into turn 1. Unai Morotto, he's past Michael Waversick now. He's up to 15th place. Borja Zorzo, P7 at the moment. Torlacci, P3. Lorenzo and Joshua. Right up front, Joshua, bit of a wiggle just in front of Torlacci there, holds on to it. The tactic now for these three is when do they use their push to pass? They've got one left each. Gomez has got 2. Into Ascari, Joshua against his brother, and they said earlier that they're brothers off the track. On the track, they're rivals. And rivals they may be as Joshua pulls to the outside of the Parabolica. Lorenzo brakes a little earlier. Just oversteers a little wide, but a mid-corner snap for Joshua prevents getting that undercut and tucking underneath. Where's Augustin? Where's Augustin? Will he pull out at any moment? I don't think he's close enough to the back of these two. He's not. He's there. Look, the yellow car isn't close enough at all at the moment. So it's Joshua Hader, Lorenzo Hader, Joshua Hader. They've both used push to pass. Joshua now pulls out on his brother. He's got the job done. So the push to pass, they're using it at the exact same time. And Joshua is ahead of Lorenzo. But now, Torlacci, 0.6 of a second off the back. He's got one usage left. Can he get close enough? So Lorenzo now will have the slipstream of his brother and can come through onto the back of his brother. Now at Ascari to the outside. Doesn't get it done. Joshua gets it stopped on the apex. Through they come. But Lorenzo gets a demon run through Ascari. Now has the slipstream once again. And here he comes. Pulls to the outside of his brother Joshua. Down the back straight towards the Parabolica they come. Lorenzo now back in the lead around the outside. And while all this is happening, Augustin Torlacci, he tucks underneath of Joshua. He uses the final push to pass he has available to him and has got past into P2. Will he get Lorenzo? Oh, little wiggle there. It's just Lorenzo just squeezes Augustin. They've gone deep. And I think Torlacci now takes the race lead. They've both gone deep. And Joshua Hader could only watch on at the moment. They're still side by side with each other. It's Torlacci versus Lorenzo Hader towards the second chicane. Who breaks the latest? Torlacci still around the outside. Has to cut the corner again. And now Joshua's back in the mix. And it's all kicking off. Gomez could be in for a place as Lorenzo looks at the first Lesmo. He's going to lose out to Joshua at the second Lesmo. No, he doesn't. And a glass of water is well needed here because this is fantastic action at the moment. The top three are leaving nothing out there. They're giving it their absolute all. Gomez with one use left. 1.7 off the back of Hader. And now Torlacci tries to break the slipstream. And all of a sudden, with 5 laps to go, Augustin Torlacci is now the one being hunted. And Lorenzo and Joshua, they are the one doing the hunting. Back down the pack, Nico Forland. Oh, late on the brakes. Does he get the move done on Stanek? He does. Literally licked the stamp and sent it. And the determination on his face, Valverde sets the fastest lap, P10, as Forland breaks early into turn 1. Tyler Klaus has just not got the pace. Forland's up to 8th now. It's more points for him. Lap 18 of 22. And the brothers are back at it. Joshua and Lorenzo with the second chicane. And Joshua manages to hang on in there at the moment. Gomez is coming. Torlacci is pulling away. We cannot relax. We cannot relax. It is lap 18 of 22. There is still plenty of drama that can happen here. Yannick Pletcher is 2.6 off the back of Gomez. He is right in this race. Gomez is within a second of Lorenzo Hader. He's got 1 usage of push to pass left as well. Nico Forlon's got 2 at his disposal. He's right on the back of Tyler Klaus. Gomez, he's right back in this for a podium, you know. Do not discount him at the moment. Torlachi, 119.8. Hayder, 21 dead, 22 dead. And a 20.7 for Gomez. 4 lads got past Klaus with a push to pass. He's put himself into P7. And Gomez is right in this for a podium now. Do not discount him here. He's got 1 usage left, and the more these brothers fight each other, the more that Gomez is going to get closer. Knockout was fantastic. The race has been even more immense. Who's that side by side? Behind Tyler Klaus, that is Valverde and Stanek going at it. And I believe Valverde, yes, has came out on top. Well, by the opening couple of laps, there was a few incidents. Since then, we've seen not a lot, apart from pure, fantastic driving from everybody. It has been an immense watch, and I hope everybody watching around the world has enjoyed this as much as we have. But as the leaders come down, Torlachi will start lap 20 of 22. There is 3 to go here. Whew. It isn't done. It is not done. Pletcher has taken another 6/10 out of Gomez. He's 2 seconds behind Gomez. Gomez has dropped off the back again of Lorenzo. And Joshua's actually managed to get Lorenzo Hayder as well. Rivoli moves up to P13 ahead of Shelbert. Our debutant today, Morotto, now gets ahead of Shelbert as well. Valverde's in 9th. He's still got 2 usages of push to pass left, so he's still in the points here. Still got a chance to get a few more. Do not discount these drivers. And this is just the appetizer. We have the main course tomorrow in the Racer League. That is going to be fantastic to watch as well. But my, oh my, what a race. Valverde gaining on the back of Tyler Klaus here. This is for P8 and 9. Klaus just hasn't had the pace to sit with the front runners and is slowly tumbling towards that back part of the points. Gomez has 1 use left. He's within 7/10. Pletcher, though, now within 1.7 seconds. And as Torlachi comes to Parabolica, Valverde, wow. Careful on that left-hand curve, uses all of it, follows Tyler Klaus now then. And he's had a very good choice there as Marcus Valverde. Wear the headband to hide the sweat that has no doubt been pouring off of every driver. This is a real workout for these boys today, and they've done nothing but show us what they've got. As down the start straight, 2 usages left. Gomez used his last one. He's only got within 0.4 of a second of Lorenzo Hayder. Gap started to open up between the top 3 now, but Gomez within 0.4 of Lorenzo. And Valverde right on the back of Tyler Klaus. Users push to pass. He's not anymore. He's side by side and into the braking zone of the second chicane. He doesn't get it done. Tyler Klaus comes back at him there. So Valverde has to go again. He's got Mario Stanek for company as well. And Yannick Pletcher now within 1.4 seconds. Gomez losing out to Lorenzo Hayder. So he's not used his final push to pass exactly how he'd have liked. Unai Morotto, 6 seconds off the back of Rivoli. He's still got 4 usages left. Here comes Stanek now on Valverde to the outside of Ascari. Mario Stanek right around the outside. He absolutely has, and he's made it look easy. He's got ahead of Valverde, and Valverde now drops to P10. Great move, Mario Stanek. Now Valverde's going to try and come back at him at the Parabolica. He pulls out now to the inside of the Parabolica, thinks better of it, and will wait his turn. Gomez just hasn't had the pace since using his push to pass to get on the back of Lorenzo Hayder. Valverde now needs to use that last push to pass to stay ahead. Augustin Torlachi is coming towards the second chicane here. What a race. We're going to have our first double winner of the season, and it is going to be the Argentinian provisionally, who will be the first double winner of the season. Mario Stanek, though, now gaining on the back of Tyler Klaus, who has 1 usage left himself. Where will he use it to defend? Torlachi comes up towards Ascari. Wow, what a day. I'm sure me and Fabio will have a lot to go through after the race. Yannick Pletcher, he's on the back of Gomez. I tell you what, if he's any closer, he could have a run at Gomez into the Parabolica. Speaking of the Parabolica, Augustin Torlacci rounds the Parabolica now, and he is going to be a double race winner here. It is Augustin Torlacci who wins at Monza. Joshua Hader will come home for P2. Lorenzo will be P3. Gomez, does he cross the line P4? Yes, he does. Pletcher from the back to P5. Borgesozzo will cross the line P6. Nico Forland will get P7. Tyler Klausch will hold on for P8. Mario Stanek will get that P9. Good drive for him, which means Valverde only gets a point in 10th place. Troning across the line in P11. And breathe, ladies and gentlemen, breathe. Gianluca Palmisano crossed the line in P12. P13 was that of Unai Morotto. 14th for our debut. 13th for Rivoli. 14th for Morotto. Our debutant finished in 15th, Simon Shelbert. 16th place goes the way of Michael Waversick. 17th place the way of Andreas Koch. Michael Forland will finish in P20. And Prax 19th. Eichenberger in P18. And we can all breathe. Now, what a race. What an absolute race. We're joined back with Fabio. Exciting stuff.
Yeah.
Please take over.
Yeah, you can have a sit there and relax a little bit. Wow, what a race. I mean, awesome. I mean, you were sweating, I was sweating, the audio guy is sweating there. Everyone had a blast.
Edge of his seat, he's been all race.
Yeah. I mean, awesome. But there is a little, let's say, downside, right? Because we don't know what happened when the guys cut the chicane there.
Yeah.
So maybe one of the two, I don't know who it was actually, it was Torlacci, I know that, but I don't know who the other one was. It was either Lorenzo or Joshua, right? So there could be a penalty be applied to Torlacci, and that would give the win potentially to Lorenzo, because Joshua would also have a penalty. We don't know yet.
We don't know yet.
But still, great
race control
racing.
have the busy task now of going through it.
Yeah.
It started disastrously.
Yeah.
Turn 1, lap 1. Your hair's fine. You're all right. Turn 1, lap 1. Started the race, and straight away, chaos.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, it's a first chicane, second chicane.
Yeah.
It was just all hell broke loose, right? Congrats to him for the moment, but still, even though maybe there's a penalty, great drive by Augustin. Kept his nerve. He was watching from the back. You know, he was in P3, watching, maybe also wanting to.
Well, he was P4 at one stage. He was behind Gomez as well at one stage.
Yeah. I mean, he really had the speed. He was quick also in the practice. You know, so. For the moment, congrats to those three guys, but I'm very curious what's going to happen with that situation there.
So the provisional result, as you can see on your screen now, is Augustin Torlacci is your provisional race winner. Joshua Hader, P2 from Lorenzo Hader, P3. And there is race control who are going through every decision. We've just been told that Torlacci is under investigation for that cut.
Yep, that's what I said, right? And maybe Joshua as well. So let's wait and see what they decide. I'm sure they already had a look at it during the race, so I think that decision will come up quite shortly. Oh, but still, I mean, it was very exciting.
It was very exciting.
I was actually sitting down, then on the edge of my seat. You were actually on the ground there.
I had to crouch at one stage.
Yeah.
One thing I do want to mention is brothers in arms. And Joshua and Lorenzo said when we spoke to him a little earlier on, he's my brother off the track.
No.
You could tell.
Yeah.
You could tell, because they was racing each other hard.
They were throwing everything at them. But great racing, and also they didn't come together which will result in a happy drive home back to Germany, right?
Yes, exactly. Yannick, from the back of the grid, he's provisionally P4. Now, this is a point, depending on the penalty, if Joshua and Augustin pick up a penalty, Yannick could find himself on the podium.
How far was Yannick behind Gomez?
About a second.
Right behind. Okay.
About a second.
Ooh,
or within a couple of tenths. So all of a sudden, Yannick could possibly find himself on the podium. There's a good few, disco lights going off in Madrid there.
I think there's a sunset, actually.
Celebrate just yet. Let's see what happens. Because these men...
They have a tough job tonight. Really. I mean...
Ex-driver in the middle, Roger Mott.
Yeah.
He'll know what to do. Ex-Formula 1 driver in Carl Verdlinger there. He will know what to do. There's Carl.
Yeah, that's Simon. I mean, well done to him for his first weekend. Awesome knockout. Obviously, didn't really pull it off in the race, but...
Learning curve.
Learning curve, yeah. First event. Just come back next time round. Get better and better with practice. Yeah. So he'll be back. He had fun.
And it's not the easiest of circuits when it's all about, speed and carrying that speed through. It's not the most technical. He might favour a technical circuit. As that's calm then at the moment. And... well, we await the final race result, but that's Kemptall briefly that we saw a picture of there. And it's all looking good at the moment in Kemptall, but we await this final classification. We're going to interview the top three who are provisional still. We normally get the final classification for interviews. So we're going to interview provisional top three. So we are going to start with Lorenzo Hayder in third place. Lorenzo, that was a crazy race, but a P3 at the moment.
I'm not happy with P3. I think all guys see that problem. I was on fight with my brother and Tolashi about P1. I defend really nice, I think, and fair. But at the second chicane, I brake early enough. I leave Tolashi enough space, but he drive straight, and yeah. That's the reason why I'm not so really happy, but we will see what happened. All of the end, I'm happy with podium. Yes, a second podium with my brother. Tim Heider is really back. That is really nice to see and to feel, really. And congratulations to my brother. I had a really nice fight with him. All overtakes about him or about me was really fair. And yes, Team Heider, we are back. Thank you, guys.
Team Heider back-to-back podiums for you. Well, Lorenzo, congratulations on the P3. Let's see what happens when we get final classifications. That's Lorenzo Heider, P3 around Monza, provisionally at the moment. And we can move swiftly to one of the other simulators in Kemptall and speak with his brother Joshua momentarily, who will be P2. Great fight between both of them.
I mean,
thank you.
At one point, I was having my hands in on my head actually, because I really thought they were going to touch. And but maybe Joshua can tell us a little bit more about that. Joshua, can you hear us already?
Loud and clear.
Joshua, it's P2 at the moment. It's all still provisional, but that was a good race between you and your brother and Gomez and Torlaci.
Well, I hope you enjoyed it. I think it was a very, very tough race, also for me. A bit ashamed that my brother fight against me, because I think if at this point I was P1 and he P2. If we drive, I think just get the Heider 1-2. But it is what it is. It was a fair race. No touching. Fabio, no touching. Okay.
We spoke to you earlier in the programme about brothers in arms. You said on the track you race him like any other driver. That's exactly what you did.
That's exactly what I did, and I think I thought about it on the racetrack, about the interview, what you said. And I fight against him like
every other guy, and yeah.
Well,
I'm happy and a bit disappointed.
Well, at the moment, it's P2 provisionally. Congratulations on the podium for the time being. Obviously, we'll wait to see what the final classification is, but well done on P2. So that then was Joshua Hayder there, two Hayder brothers. Very happy with their performance, very happy with each other's little battle as well.
I think they were, obviously they said they're not quite happy, right? But yeah, I think they can be happy with the podium. We don't know yet who's going to win. So maybe one of them is going to end up winning.
Yeah.
Maybe, who knows? Maybe it's also Adrian Gomez, right? We don't know yet. The race control has so much to do.
Yeah.
But as Joshua rightly said, so no touching, or maybe a little bit of touching between them, but no crashes.
Yeah,
so I'm very happy.
Nothing major there. And I believe we have Augustin Torlaci in with us now. Augustin, it's provisionally P1. Just tell us a bit about your race.
Yeah, it was a very hard race, intense with the brothers Hayder, but I like the way I passed. I think I made some mistake, but just happy for the win, obviously. I love the fight with Hayder because I never had some hard fight, but I enjoyed it.
Now, obviously, you learnt a bit of experience racing in the Racer League last time at the Zurich Airport circuit. Did you manage to bring what you learnt last time out here today?
Yes, for sure. I mean, Zurich was a very difficult track. I didn't know it, and I think it went like it was. But I'm happy to win in Monza. It was my goal. I'm happy.
Talk us through where it looked like you cut the chicane at one point. Just talk us through what happened there.
Yes, I break in the reference, and I saw Hayder, and he touched a little bit, but if I keep in the corner, I crash him. So I wanted to avoid the crash and keep in the track.
Well, Augustin, at the moment, provisional P1. We'll obviously get the final classification soon, but well done on a fantastic race.
Thanks.
So Augustin Torlaci there. Very happy with his job. Feels that he had to cut the chicane to avoid a collision.
I'm actually very eager to know which incident he meant, because there was one in the first chicane and there was one in the second one.
Yeah.
Joshua was, or I think Lorenzo was complaining about an incident in the second chicane. I was referring to the one in the first chicane.
Which is the one I remember.
Yeah, exactly.
Him cutting the second one. I can't really remember it that much happened.
Yeah, that also happened a lot in the back as well, not only in the front.
Everywhere, up and down the whole grid.
Yeah, but maybe we can talk about Pletcher.
Yeah, let's talk about Yannick Pletcher. We all, though, going...
As you rightly said so in the beginning, what's the best place to start the race? It's obviously in the front, but it's also in the back.
Yeah.
And I think Yannick hugely... he was in the end... He was in favor of the incident, right? So there was a big crash, I believe, in turn 1. There was a big one after turn 1. There was a big one in turn 3, I believe, or 4. And then there was another one at Ascari. So Yannick just did what he had to do, just stay out of trouble and try to overtake as many people as possible. And in the end, he just had the speed also. So he was only, I believe, 5 seconds off the leaders. Yeah. So congrats to him. Hopefully there were no incidents in his race, because that would obviously hurt his result in the end. But what a drive.
We look to the other side of the grid, though. Nico Farland, Marcus Valverde, we both had said race winners get caught up in these early incidents on lap 1, and their race goes from what could have been something to quite bad.
Obviously, these kind of things can happen, right? So Yeah, I mean, bad for us. Obviously, the people now think, oh, well, those guys have no clue. But yeah, I mean, those guys were race winners this season, so it could have gone either way. They were basically having some incidents. They were involved in some crashes. And in the end, I think they still finished in the points. So damage limitations for them. Maybe they will get some places due to some penalties for other guys. But yeah.
Valverde 10th, Nico Farland 7th. If we're being told that Augustin Torlaci is under investigation, potentially facing penalty. That gives Yannick Pletcher a possible podium. Depending on the Hayder brothers, we saw one of them cut the chicane as well. If Yannick is on the podium, that's big points over Nico Farland.
Yeah, it's a massive blow for Nico, obviously. But Nico has the toughness. I mean, he has the mental strength to, sit this one out and in the end fight back in, I think, in Barcelona, the next challenge. But yeah, I mean, going into this weekend, he knew this was a big chance for him to actually pull out the gap, and he couldn't do it, which is a shame. But it's good for us because that means the championship fight is still very, very close. As a neutral spectator, I would say it's very good for the championship. It's not so good for Nico.
Indeed, it is. Pick your brain as a driver. Go back to being a driver all of a sudden. 4 races left now for these Challenger League drivers. Now, at the minute, we don't know what the final classification is. We've got Barcelona at the end of the month. End of October, we go to Spa. The middle of November, we're at Laguna Seca. And on the 8th and 9th of December is round 10 at a secret track where we don't know where we're at yet. Not only is it Battle for Glory, but it's race 10 of the season. With 4 races left, as a driver, you're surely looking at that championship table.
Yeah, surely. I mean, now it's getting critical. I would say the next 2 races will be the deciding ones if you stay in the championship fight or if you lose contention. So much can happen, as we saw today with Nico. And actually, Monza is a good track to fight back. In some other tracks, overtaking is not that easy, I would say. It's still possible, as we knew from Imola, right? But still, it's crucial not to be involved in any crashes, any big, mishaps. So it's going to be crucial for the drivers to really be, or have the, what did they say to Vettel? Keep it on the black stuff, right?
Yeah. Turn 1, lap 1, Walter Troninger, middle of the pack. Let's see what happened here then. Helicopter camera, probably the best camera for this one.
Must be the big one in the beginning.
Not the best start from the car in front of Walter Troninger then.
Keeps it on the track there, close to track limits.
Bouncing.
Oh, who was? That's Torlaci.
Oh, and then there's a separate incident behind.
But that's Torlaci. No, it's a green car. Torlaci was driving the green car.
Yeah.
Well, in first lap.
So we're being told that this is what he's under investigation for. So it isn't the cut that he's done over the chicane. So there's actually 2 incidents in there. Torlaci hitting the back of Troninger. And then just behind that, there was a second incident that just creates so much chaos. Also, at the front of the pack, what you didn't see on that one was Marotto, second on the grid, was backwards over the first chicane at the start of the race.
Yeah, because that's Torlaci pushed Troninger, right? And I think Troninger went into Marotto.
Yeah.
I think that what happened. I'm actually surprised that Augustin didn't mention that because I didn't see who exactly was the cause of that collision.
Here is Augustin Torlaci's view. So Troninger is the car on the right, bouncing to stay on the circuit, like playing pinball. Augustin just doesn't brake. There's Marotto, look, already backwards off the track. There's an incident happening behind. Troninger's all of a sudden airborne. Looked like Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen. That did almost on top of the other car.
The thing is, Walter was off track and braked a little earlier than usually. Still, it's first lap, first chicane. This is unfortunate.
Oh, there's then the second incident. Yannick Pletcher must have thought, he sat in the cockpit rubbing his hands like, oh, thank you very much, I'll have these places.
I mean, yeah, after lap 1, I think he was up to P14 or something from P20, so he must have thought he won the lottery there. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a racing incident there. I mean, this is going to be a definite penalty.
Yeah.
It's just so bad that it happened to Augustin because they were having such a good fight.
Yeah.
And it keeps us from that feeling that there was a fight going on in the beginning because we thought everything was okay, right?
Michael Forland into the back of one of the Camp Toll cars. That was the other incident.
He was actually standing still.
He did stay still after he'd hit the other car, yes. I'm not sure who he's hit. Is it somebody from Camp Toll?
Which car is Yannick? Is it the white one there?
I believe Yannick was the white one there, yeah. That's just...
Yeah, it stayed out of trouble. You saw that they're very cautious there. There's another car on the right-hand side here.
That's Morotto rejoining from being backwards. Again, just late on the brakes, turn 1, lap 1, when you know it's going to be a traffic jam at the first chicane.
But you know how racing drivers work, right?
Yes.
I mean, yeah, you tell them it's Monza, you tell them it's the first chicane, you tell them it's the first lap, it's going to be double penalty points.
Yeah.
The guys just have a different mindset in the end, right? It's very difficult to, because you can be very careful, but another guy isn't. Yeah. And then it's all over.
Yeah.
And this is what happened here. It was a chain reaction. There was something in the front. Maybe some guys panicked, went on the brakes even harder. Something happened in the back. And then we saw what happened.
Yeah, we did indeed. So 2 turn 1 collisions, or 3 effectively, because Morotto was backwards.
Yeah.
Slam dunk so for Michael Forland and Torlacci. Slam dunk penalty.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have to discuss that.
So Shelbert on, and this must be out. So this is how we're going to see how Morotto was backwards. So Shelbert,
a very good start there, Morotto.
Very good start. That is Gomez on the outside.
Yeah. Okay, he was sandwiched.
Yeah.
I think that's a racing incident, and that's very unfortunate for Unai Morotto. Nothing really he could have done there. I mean, bad luck.
Yeah, bad luck. Just the car in the middle got sandwiched. He didn't change his line.
No, he did everything right. He was in the inside. Possibly he would have been P1 after chicane 1.
Yeah.
It just didn't meant to be.
It wasn't meant to be. But Gomez didn't capitalise from that, did he? You know, he's in the lead that early. Didn't seem to capitalise from it. This is Nico Forland. So we've had all the chicane kerfuffle at turn 1 and 2. Wow. Valverde and Nico Forland. Oh, now then. Nico.
I mean, Yannick must have been rubbing his hands now. Those are his 2 championship contenders there. I mean, his rivals, and they get together like this. A rare mistake by Nico, really. We haven't seen him.
No, we haven't. No.
Maybe penalty. One of those days, you know, where it just doesn't work out. Tough luck, man.
5 seconds.
It's first lap.
So 5 seconds, double that. 10 seconds, double the penalty points.
Yeah.
Out the points.
Potentially, but I'm not sure.
10-second penalty, possibly out the points. No points for Nico Forland. Potential podium for Yannick Pletcher. This championship could take a twist. Valverde be given a couple of places as well, an extra point. This is Nico Forland. Lap 1. Marcus Valverde as well. Look at the run that Forland got through Ascari. There's a car just gone off in front. It's bounced off the wall. He's tapped Valverde in the wall again. You've got your hands on your head here. It was that exciting. That is not Nico's fault nor Valverde's fault.
But, I mean, for a moment, I was sitting in the car and I tried to react as well. This was...
The car's bounced off the wall, it's rejoined.
I'm missing the words at the moment, but it's so unfortunate. Also, Nico, wrong place at the wrong time. Obviously, Valverde wants to avoid...
Yeah. Valverde's avoided Nico. The rejoining car.
So Valverde was just... I'm actually very surprised that Valverde is still up there, because Valverde was spun around by Nico, right?
Twice.
But what happened with Nico?
Well, Nico and Valverde went off first time.
They went off both, right?
Yeah,
so
both
they
went off
gone.
together.
Okay, so
and then
they didn't like each other tonight, or they were just meant to crash into each other.
It seems at the moment that we're having a stage of our championship where Yannick Pletcher jumps to start at the last race. This week, Augustin Torlacci is under investigation. Forland and Valverde have been in the wall. The championship leaders just making little mistakes, being involved in certain incidents. Yep. This is Joshua Hader. This is with Adrian Gomez, who we've just been told moving across the track too many times.
Gomez? Or who?
There.
Oh.
Now that, too much of a wiggle.
That's too much, yeah.
But that's blocking. That's weaving and blocking, that is. If we go back, we're taking it back. Our producer upstairs. If we can slow it down, there we go. Goes left, Jinx right, goes left, Jinx right. Yeah, that's penalty. Penalty.
Yeah, shouldn't do that. Maybe also a bit of a misinterpretation.
We actually
can't do that. Obviously, that's like, it's gentleman's rule, right? You only change your line once.
Yeah.
And then you need to stay there, and this didn't happen.
We actually saw that from the other camera view on air.
Yeah.
And I remember commenting, thinking they'd actually touched a bit more than what they had.
Yep.
Obviously, when you see it from Joshua Hader's point of view, it's multiple manoeuvres from Gomez. That's blocking.
Could have ended badly, actually.
They could have both been off, ruined both their races. Gomez block, penalty.
Okay, that leaves... Okay. Let's see... Okay.
This is Joshua and Lorenzo Hader having an epic fight.
They're having a fight. I'm actually very curious if Joshua would also be...
Oh, absolutely lunged on his brother, misses the apex, keeps position, to be fair to him, because the way the chicane is, he's held position. Now Joshua wants to tuck back underneath.
I think they're both out of push to pass here, actually.
This is where I think they used their last bit, yeah.
The thing is, Lorenzo used it on the straight, and then Joshua used it here, but I'm not sure whether this was the lap where they did it. But awesome racing, I mean...
Brothers in arms, treat each other like every other driver.
Clean, I mean, they trained together, right? So maybe they were having a blast in practice and thought, maybe we do it for the race win, you know? But I'm very curious now. So we have Torlacci under investigation. Gomez under investigation. We don't know if the Hader brothers are under investigation.
For the chicane, yeah.
If not, it seems that it would be a Hader 1-2. And
this is Torlacci against the Hader brothers now. So the Hader brothers are still going at it, side by side up front. One thing this does bring in as well is Yannick Pletcher on the podium, and if Nico Forland does get that penalty for lap one, out the points, Torlacci, brilliant move to tuck underneath of
still
Lorenzo.
within the track limits. Yeah, you can't go over the wide line.
He's now used push to pass. He's coming. Oh, little bump there. And is this the contact at turn one?
Oh, both are too late.
Yeah,
way too late. But now, shouldn't they have fallen back?
Yielded a bit of time.
Yielded a little bit of time.
Okay then. So I believe that was Lorenzo in the grey car.
Yeah.
Lorenzo and Torlacci.
So who is it? I can't see it on the minimap.
It's Lorenzo. The grey one's Lorenzo.
Yeah.
Joshua's in
I would be very interested in the helicopter view here, because I want to see who gained the most.
None of them are making that apex.
I mean, Torlacci wouldn't have made the corner either. Only if he would have really stopped.
I feel, that for Lorenzo there, potential penalty. We're going to get the heli camera to us in a moment. Yannick Pletcher could be sat on a P2 here. Here's the heli camera.
It could be a Chemtal 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Right, so Lorenzo, Joshua Hader's the white car in the background. We're looking for the gap increase these two gain over him.
I mean,
that's clear as day. He's out of shot now.
It's massive, yeah.
He was in the shot, he's now not. And does he come back into the shot? No.
So, how many penalties does Torlacci have?
Penalty points?
No. He has 0, I believe. But, I mean, today, first lap.
So we've been told it's a potential first lap, which could be 10 seconds, depending on what race control. If race control give the 5-second penalty, we know it's doubled, it's 10.
Yeah. This one could be
That could be 5
more.
seconds. That's 15.
It's already... And he already...
And you think of Torlachi being in this championship fight as well, Forland possibly under investigation, Valverde only scoring 1 point, Yannick Pletcher all of a sudden gets a second place if Lorenzo Hayder gets a penalty.
That could be like the dream scenario for Yannick. I mean, who would have thought, right?
Jump start. You finish 4th, you get demoted to 10th, you get 1 point. You've got a knockout ban for Monza. All of a sudden you're thinking, right, okay, see what I can get out of Monza. I need a couple of points. I'm not going to win, but I need a couple of points. All of a sudden,
you potentially end up on the podium.
Staring down at a P2 at the moment.
Yeah.
While his rivals have all just absolutely...
Yeah, but let's
these guys, these three have got to make this decision.
Let's stay cool for the moment. I believe they're done because they're actually entering the penalty points in the penalty points roster. So I believe they're done. Maybe our producer can confirm.
Well, one of them has just stepped off the pit wall, so hopefully that one has gone to give our producer the top 3 in classification.
Wow.
I hope the cameraman's ready in Qatar, because if this is a Qatar 1, 2, 3, the place will erupt. The place will erupt. But we are waiting. We have the result list, we're being told.
I mean, we could be wrong. We could be totally wrong. We're just getting the
we are
through the years.
I think there's still a conversation going off upstairs. P3 is Borja Zarzo, so that has come out the blue. He is confirmed P3. P2 is Yannick Pletcher, so from 20th on the grid to P2. Yeah. What a race that is. Drum roll for the winner. Joshua Hayder wins the race. So it will be 6 race winners in 6 races. Joshua Hayder wins the Challenge 6.
Awesome. Congrats. I mean, wow. Who would have...
Borja Zarzo on the podium. Look at that. That's a happy man. That means as well that Kemptol now have 3 race wins in the Challenger League. Joshua Hayder high fives with Noah. He's happy on the race win. And a high five with Yannick Pletcher as well. So it's a 1-2 for Kemptol. Not the brothers like they wanted, but Yannick Pletcher.
But what was the incident with Lorenzo then?
The cutting of the chicane. Possibly.
The cutting, yeah. And but Borja on P3, where was Borja?
P6.
Yeah, but I didn't see him at all.
I didn't see how far behind Yannick he was. Never mind how far off the back of Lorenzo. So there must have been other things. I believe Augustin has just been told by the Racing Unleashed colleague there that he has not won the... Or does she think he still won the race?
Yeah, I mean, he can be happy with his... with his race, but... It just wasn't meant to be,
meant to be.
I mean, first lap incidents always cost you. Still, great recovery from that awesome race with the Hyders, etc. So
he can't believe it.
Yeah, that's his dad.
His dad can't believe it either.
His grandfather is there as well. Oh my God! I mean,
he's literally gone from Zurich Airport, lowest moment in his Racing Unleashed career, to now where he's. Second place.
Rise of the Phoenix, right? You could say that, right? From the ashes. I mean, awesome. Yeah.
They'll be picking him up on his shoulders in a moment to celebrate. Yannick Pletcher. What a moment that must be for him. There is the final classification, and it is Joshua Hayder who wins the race. Yannick Pletcher, P2 from Borja Zarzo. Gomez stays P4. Lorenzo Hayder drops down to P5. Augustin Torlachi goes to 6th place. Mario Stanek is P7 from Marcus Valverde, who gets 8th place. Tyler Klaus, 9th. Nico Forland stays in the points in P10, so he keeps hold of 1 solitary point. Nothing compared to what he's lost out to Yannick Pletcher. Gianluca Palmisano up to 11th with Walter Troininger 12th for the penalty. Antonio Rivoli 13th place with a penalty. Simon Shelbert P14. Michael Waversick P15. Unai Morotto penalty in 16th place. Dennis Eichenberger P17. Andreas Koch and Andreas Prax, P18 and 19, and Michael Farland penalty bringing up the rear. As we know, I believe it is Andreas Prax who's already got a race ban, and now more penalty points to his name, which I don't think will matter as we zoom back around to Keptal. Yannick's grandfather there, congratulating Joshua Hader.
Yeah, he is like the dad of Jenson Button, right?
Yes.
John Button.
Yes.
No championship race will happen without.
Oh, and that's nice to see. That's
grandfather. So awesome to see that.
Absolutely fantastic scenes at our Kemptall Racing Lounge, and what a day it's going to be. Hopefully, we'll hear from the audience in a moment when the cameras do the podium celebration. But absolutely, and this is what Racing Leashed is all about: the family and friends congratulating each other. Yeah. It's such a fantastic place to be and a fantastic place to watch the racing.
Yeah, awesome. I mean, the atmosphere there, the guys, they all know each other, they support each other, they hug each other, they also tap on the back, you know, if races don't go that well.
So this is the confirmed podium. Borges Orzo, I believe, is his first podium of the season. We've just been told in our ear. Borges Orzo didn't think he was on the podium. He's gone home already. So he will not be able to collect his P3 medal. Borges, if you're listening on your journeys home, make sure you stop by to get your medal tomorrow. Yannick Pletcher will pick up P2. Joshua Hader will win the race. This is why you never leave early, because anything can happen. Borges has gone home. He may not even realise at the moment. If he's driving home, he may not even have a clue he's got third place.
You know, it's Friday night. Maybe he went off to a party, so he will find out there, hopefully.
Hopefully at the party, they've got the Racing Unleashed on.
Yeah.
They're watching the programme, and he can walk in and go, P3, well done.
Yeah,
let's have a beer.
First podium.
Yeah, first podium since the prologue.
Since the prologue, yeah.
So massive congratulations to Borges Orzo. So there will be, I don't think there'll be a podium celebration in Madrid now because Borges is not there.
No, because he left, yeah.
So we'll get the podium celebration of Yannick and Joshua from Kemptall momentarily. But wow, what a night, what a race. It all kick-started in the knockout qualifying where I missed it. I got the wrong finish line and timing screen said Lorenzo had it. Then he didn't.
Yeah, I mean, I hope you can still work tomorrow because your voice today...
Plenty of rest tonight.
Oh, right.
Plenty of food, plenty of rest.
Plenty of food then, okay. Oh, let's hope it's going to be as spectacular
as this was the appetizer.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is the main course and dessert. We are live though in Kemptall for our podium celebration. It is the number P2 and P1 that we're going to see. We're going to expect Yannick Pletcher to give us a hop, skip and a jump because I know he's got a spring in his step when he gets on the podium.
Yeah, he must be super happy.
Yeah.
All right, Yannick, where are you?
Yeah. And action. Yeah, there he is. Jumping on. He's absolutely cool. More confetti. In the Italian colours as well, look.
Yeah.
Nice touch, that one is. P2 Yannick Pletcher on the podium at Kemptall. He is P2 for today. More than just Italian colours there. Looks, it's blue and purple and orange and all sorts. But Yannick Pletcher, P2, as we now await the P1 driver. It is going to be Joshua Hader, who will step up onto the screen, first of all, and then onto the podium.
Yeah, maybe the camera turns around. I don't know. Yeah. Where is he? Anyway.
He's going to come in like Tom Cruise, Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
From the roof onto P1. Here he comes now. They're starting to celebrate.
Done.
Joshua Hader, P1. And more confetti flies. And how often did you hear that celebration, that anthem at Monza back in the day? Used to be a lot, didn't it, when Schumacher was in his Ferrari?
Not that many times,
no?
actually, no.
See, I was
97, it was 96, I believe. 2000 and...
Seb
something.
Must have won there a couple of times.
Did Seb win in Monza, though?
Yeah, in his
he won in the Red Bull, yeah.
So the German anthem.
Okay, in Monza, okay, yeah, you're right.
Not the Italian anthem, the
No.
German anthem.
Yeah.
What a show. What an absolute show that was. What a race. What a drive for Joshua Hader, the man on the top step of the podium with Yannick Pletcher second. Fabio, been brilliant to have you with us again. Final thoughts on today?
I mean, never believe that it's over, right? I mean, never give up. In the person of Yannick Pletcher, you saw that. The championship is never over, even though you have big blows. And just keep tuning in for Racing Unleashed. You never know what's going to happen. 6 winners in 6 races. Are we going to go for 10? I don't know. But I'm super excited. Super excited for tomorrow as well.
Yeah.
Hope you're there as well.
6 winners in 6 races then. And here are the classifications, the standings in the championship. And Yannick, he will sleep a very happy man tonight. He is top of the championship standings on 90 points. Nico Forland drops to 2nd place. Valverde stays 3rd with Torlacci 4th. But Borges Zorzo has now come to play. Joshua Hader moves into 6th place with Adrian Gomez 7th. Lorenzo Hader 8th. Rock Merzel down in 9th. And Mario Stanek rounds out the top 10 in the standings. Bottom half of the table. Mohamed Ramsey's P11 with Antonio Rivoli P12. Gianluca Palmisano in 13th place. Walter Troninger 14th. Thomas Herzog P15. Tyler Klausch 4 points in 16th. Besnik Mertezi on 2 points with Fabio Schlegel and Robin Doney on a point each. Andreas Koch and others haven't scored so far this season. But what a day it has been at Monza. That was the appetizer. The main course and dessert comes tomorrow for the Racer League, where we've also had 5 different winners in 5 different races there. Just to say as well, Kemptol have now had 3 race wins in the Challenger League to Madrid's 2 and Munich's 1. So in terms of the lounge battle, Kemptol now has the most race wins. But Fabio, thank you very much. We will see you tomorrow. Good night. Can't overtake, he said. Augustin Torlacci, a very happy man on the simulator as well.
This is Racing Unleashed.